Welcome to the GNP Network, your home for Guthrie Sports. This is your home for Guthrie Wrestling. I'm Sean Silvas alongside Lindsay Silvas, and we are live inside of the Mustang Broncos gymnasium, where we're going to kick off tonight with this duel, where the Guthrie Bluejays are traveled to Mustang to take on the Broncos in what is sure to be a fun 6A versus 5A matchup. We're going to kick things off tonight with the junior high team. And we're going to have a lot of double duties tonight, so please bear with me as I work through all of the technical things. We're going to do the best we can to bring you guys a good show. I know a lot of parents had to stay home for work, so I'm glad that we are able to accommodate that. And for all of our Guthrie and Mustang wrestling fans, we thank you guys for tuning into the GNP Network. We're down to the clock rang. You guys heard that buzzer go off. That means they are fixing to get this duel started. And I'm going to kick off here for just a second until we get going. Should be a fun duel now. I know on the junior high side there are a couple of state champions. They've got two kids. One of them, Dalton Perkins, at 86 pounds, was a junior high state champ last year, still undefeated this season, along with Jagger Romano's 98-pounder. He's a state champion as well the past season, still undefeated this as well. And we are kicking it off also at 155 pounds. Aiden Robideau is a state placer for the Broncos as well. So as they get things going here, I am going to sign out for just a second, work on a couple of things, and then we will go from there when this duel kicks back off.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Mustang Public Schools and Mustang Athletic Department, welcome to Mustang High School Event Center. Tonight's first duel will feature the future of wrestling in Oklahoma. Let's welcome to the mat the visiting Guthrie Middle School and your Mustang Middle School Broncos. If you would line up on the mat for introduction. First up at 80 pounds for Guthrie will be Hudson Green. For Mustang, Maddox Dolinar. At 86 pounds for Guthrie, Caden Hall. For Mustang, Dalton Perkins. At 92 pounds for Guthrie will be Levi Potter. And for Mustang, Walker Lahue. At 98 pounds, Guthrie's boy, Mustang, as Jagger Romano. At 106 pounds for Guthrie will be Ryan Gerard. And for Mustang, it's Camden Slaughter. At 112 pounds for Guthrie, Zane Seaford. And for Mustang, Dax London. At 119 pounds for Guthrie will be either Jackson King or Garrett Reese. For Mustang, Jackson Stewart. At 126 pounds for Guthrie, Christian Britton. And for Mustang, Ethan Hubbard. At 132 pounds for Guthrie, Kate Carey. And for Mustang, Taylor White. At 140 pounds for Guthrie, either Daniel Allen or Chance Burns. And for Mustang, it's Aiden Chris. At 155 pounds for Guthrie, either Malcolm Kristen or Aiden Macy. And for Mustang, it's Aiden Robidoux. At 170 for Guthrie is going to be Dane Henson. For Mustang, Levi Pedersen. At 195 pounds for Guthrie, Sebastian Smith. And for Mustang, A.J. Parker Riley. And at heavyweight for Guthrie, Kyler Bradford. And for Mustang, Kingston Hall. Captain to the center of the mat for the going toss.
All right, folks, we're going to get this duel kicked off. Like say, the Guthrie Bluejays are inside of the Mustang Bronco Fieldhouse. Your game official, I say your game, your mat official tonight is going to be Mitch Brown, another veteran. Folks, we've been treated to some longtime veterans all year as far as the referee side goes. Mitch has been around the game forever. He's been another great official for the sport of wrestling. We're excited to have him tonight. He's going to do a great job. He's going to have a long night. We're going to have a junior high duel followed by a girls pretty much a duel. Junior high and high school are both going to go in the middle. There's enough matches there to make it a duel. And then followed up with the high school from there. So it should be a long one for Mitch Brown, but we're glad we got him. He's going to do a great job. We're going to kick off our first match of the evening. Where Hudson Green for the Blue Jays is going to take on Maddox Dolliner of the Broncos.
Let's wrestle on 80 pounds for Guthrie, Hudson Green, and let's give it up for Mustang Max Dolliner.
And we get started here. Big takedown early for Dolliner as he picks up 3 for the takedown. And now he goes for the near fall. Looks like he's going to get a 4 count. That's going to be good for 4 points.
4-point near fall, Mustang. Runs the score 7-0.
That's going to put him up 7-0 as he goes to work with his hammerlock. And he's running him out of bounds. Now, new rules this year allows you to wrestle on the edge as long as there is a piece of the body inside. So they're going to wrestle clear out to those edges. And we're going to kick back in here. First period still. We got 125 seconds to go. Sorry, 1 minute and 20 seconds to go in the first period. Maddox Dolliner gets out to a quick start with a big takedown and a turn. Gets right to work on these bar arms. We saw the Blue Jays on Tuesday night struggle in this area with 1 day of practice in between. We'll see if they can clean some of this up. But there, their rolling tilt goes for Maddox Dolliner. Running another tilt with Hudson Green, and like I say, they will wrestle out of bounds as long as there is a piece of the athlete in bounds. We're down under 51 seconds officially on that score clock. We're going to try to get that caught up. Our clock says something different, so we're trying to figure out who is who here. But yeah, 51 seconds now on the clock as they get going. Current score 11-0. As Maddox Dollimer getting to work here on top. Hudson Green's got to try to find a way to get to his feet. He's doing a good job staying on his knees, but now he's got the leg. He's got kind of a reverse here. Not going to be able to do much when you hook over top like that unless you roll. It can't do much, but now he gets caught on his back here. Trying for that. He's got a barbed wire hooked up, though. Maddox Dollimer with a barbed wire hooked up. He caught a crossface across the front and was able to catch the crossface to the far arm and twisted up that barbed wire and did a good job.
And next up, 86 pounds, we've got Guthrie Bluejays for Mustang, Dalton Perkins. Quick shot on Perkins, gets caution.
All right, we're going to get back to work here. As we work through some of these graphics, these guys are back to work here. In for a treat here, Dalton Perkins, 86 pounds. He is the defending state champion for the Broncos, and he's going to be taking on Caden Hall of the Blue Jays.
Perkins in on a low single.
And on a low single here, getting to work. Current score is going to be 6-2. Dalton Perkins is up 6 to Caden Hall's 2 points. It's been basically 2 takedowns and 2 escapes. There's an outside single attempt by Caden Hall as he gets to work here. Doing a good job blocking with his hands. That's how you got to defend somebody coming in strong like that. But Dalton Perkins, last year's state champion, so he is the junior high defending state champion at this weight. And he shows why as he picks up a fall. That's going to be 6 more team points for Mustang.
Next up at 92 pounds, Levi Potter is Guthrie, and it's Mustang Walker LaHue.
Trying to keep up with these junior high weights is often tough on the crew here, but we are going to get it figured out. Levi Potter for the Blue Jays is wrestling against Walker LaHue. And Walker with a big takedown early, 92 pounds, as he gets going. Levi Potter trying to base up here. He's got to get his leg out. Got his leg caught. Big lift here by LaHue as he returns him down. Levi Potter doing a good job bracing up. He's got that cross arm. Look for him to run around for the barbed wire. He's hooking the half. We saw that similar technique the last match. And now Levi Potter finds himself on his back. He's fighting back to his belly. Now he finds himself in this sort of a snake position. That hooked arm and a half. This is a tough hold to build up from as Walker LaHue lifts the head, stays out on his toes. Now he's making an adjustment. That's not good for Levi Potter. That adjustment allowed him to dig his arm deeper. Digs it in deeper. That allows him to have more control over that head. Now he steps over, and that's going to be 6 more points for the Broncos as they come out to a big 18-0 lead over the Blue Jays. Next match is going to be at 98 pounds. And wrestling for the Blue Jays, I believe, is going to be a forfeit. So we'll bump up to 106 pounds for this duel. Guthrie's going to bring out Ryan Gerard. And he's going to be facing Camden Slaughter. That forfeit's going to give the Broncos 6 more points. It's been all bonus so far, which is typical in junior high. Hopefully the Blue Jays in the middle of the lineup can get things turned around. I know the folks at home from Mustang wanted to see their 98-pound Jagger Romanos wrestle. He's also defending state champion, but no one from the Blue Jays for him to wrestle. So they skipped him, and now they're up at Camden Slaughter at 106 pounds, who gets an early takedown for 3 points. Now he's trying to run a chicken wing, and Ryan Gerard doing a good job getting to his base. Now Slaughter's got a leg in. He's getting pretty high. Ryan Gerard staying strong here. Slaughter gets the leg out. He's going to run this half. Gerard tries to chicken wing that down, or not chicken wing, but tries to wing it down. And now he's trying to base up. Slaughter tries to catch the cradle, and Gerard had to bail out on the stand-up, so that didn't happen. He's doing a good job on bottom, staying based and staying busy. As long as he stays based and busy, it makes it hard for the top guy to score points. As he gets to his feet, he's done a nice job. Slaughter would like for him to lay around a little bit so that he could hook something up and maybe get to work. He's running legs. Looked like he tried for a spladle and a half and a cradle. Slaughter definitely a tough kid on top. Trying to score points, but Ryan Gerard's doing a nice job of just staying busy down there. And it's making Camden Slaughter have to make adjustments. It's almost like riding a bull a little bit. If the bull just sits there, it's real easy to ride. If that bull starts moving, you've got to make adjustments, and in those adjustments, you can't really score points. So if Ryan Gerard gets slowed down or gets stuck down there, Camden's going to be able to start going to work and making adjustments for points. Right now, he's just trying to stay on top. So Ryan Gerard's got to stay busy down here. It's easier said than done. Right now, he's got his arm caught. Slaughter did a barm chop, and he's caught that far wrist. Now he's working for a little tilt here. He's got one arm hooked. He's between the legs on the far side. You can't quite see it, but he's got one arm between the legs. The other one's underneath the arm. He's hooked. He's trying to pull him back into his lap. Gerard doing a nice job fighting here. It was loud on the buzzer, folks. I apologize for that. Try to get these volumes adjusted. Good first period for Camden Slaughter, but also for Ryan Gerard. He got took down, but he did a good job wrestling hard on bottom. There's a quick three-point takedown, number 2 for Camden Slaughter. As he goes to work now, runs that arm over. He's getting near fall. Not sure how many swipes he got. He's got to get at least 2 swipes to get points, but now he's getting swipes. He's got this reverse headlock, this reverse half, and that was tight, folks. He picks up a fall. That's going to be 6 more for the Mustang Broncos, as it's been all bonus all night so far for them. Next matchup, we're going to bump up to 112 pounds. The Blue Jays are going to march out Zane Seifert. And the Mustang Broncos going to be bringing out Daxton London. As Daxton gets a quick takedown and gets right to work on top. He's got a front three-quarter Nelson. Trying to hook that up. He's got the foot. He's trying to pull the head. Zane did a good job wrestling there. Wrestling through that. Very limber. You saw his knee get caught sideways. Now they're wrestling. He's got Daxton's leg, but now Daxton just uses that to pull Zane over. Zane now's on his back getting near fall. Looks like his inside arm is caught. You can see it right between his legs. If he was able to get that through his body, he might have been able to get up, but it got caught between his legs. Really kind of sealed his own fate there on that one. So that's going to be 6 more for the Broncos as we move on. Very quick duel here, 119 pounds. Blue Jays are going to wrestle Garrett Reese. And the Broncos are going to wrestle Jackson Stewart, looks like. We're back to action here. Both guys hand fighting here. Stewart with the inside ties. He's got control there. But Garrett's a young wrestler, but he's been heavy in these hand fights. We saw him on Tuesday night wrestling really hard, just banging on the head real hard. He does a good job fighting in there. It's a simple game, but it's effective. It's hard for guys to shoot through his hands and his head. And so he's been effective with that. Jackson Stewart trying to get through there. Now he gets that underhook, throws it almost like a headlock, not really a lap drop, just an underhook throw by. Boy, it was tight. Now he's reached underneath. He's got a bar arm on the front side. You can see him working out that inside bar arm. Reese rolled it out, but now it looks like Jackson's going for a cradle on the far side. And now he's got the far arm. He's broken back down. He's got the far arm caught, just really picking away at these posts. Mustang's doing a good job of just pulling posts out. The bottom guys are having trouble staying posted up. He's running a tight half here. Reese doing a good job posting on the outside. Gets to his feet. He's done a nice job here. And now Stewart's put a leg in, just kind of hanging on top here. And Garrett, tough on bottom here. Gets up, peels hands, should not have turned around. Probably should have just ran away and got one. But he's still working here, trying to be heavy, trying to be tough here. Jackson Stewart's just hanging on. If he's not careful, he's going to get called for stalling here. But Garrett Reese just really needs to remain right where he's at. As Jackson Stewart not able to hold on to that leg. Reese able to get away. Nice job by Garrett Reese right there at the end of that period. Starting the second period. Guthrie's going to choose bottom. Mustang's on top, and we're back to action. And Reese right to his feet again. This time London drops to a high C. Trying to finish it, trying to stay on top. Oh, he gets able to crack down, and he caught Reese on his butt momentarily, but Reese adjusted. Now he's underneath. Now he's got the double leg. He's trying to trip it over. And Stewart trying to use that underhook to throw him by, not able to. And Garrett Reese picks up 2 points for the reversal. That's going to make this match tied up at 3. Looks like the score's 5-3. I might have missed a near fall. Now Jackson Stewart's up on his feet as they go out of bounds. Referee is going to call them neutral. That's going to be a point for Jackson Stewart. That's going to give him 6 points. As Garrett Reese goes back on his feet. Back on that heavy collar time. Not sure exactly what's going on with the score, but may not matter here if Jackson Stewart's able to get this, able to throw him to his back with that underhook. He's got him caught on his back tight here. Super tight. He's got near fall. There's 18 seconds to go, and Garrett Reese is going to have to fight hard here to stay off his back. Jackson Stewart really pushing hard, trying to get that fall with 9 seconds to go in what was the best match so far of this junior high duel. He was able to make that happen. That's going to be 6 more points for the Broncos, and that's going to put them up 42-0 over the Blue Jays as we move on to the next 126-pound matchup. Guthrie is going to be wrestling Briston Britton. Mustang's going to be wrestling Ethan Hubbard. Early takedown for Hubbard, as now he's working on an outside cradle. He's got that locked up tight as Briston Britton fights as hard as he can. Just not experienced enough to know what to do. Got caught in that cradle quick. And that's going to be 6 more points for the Broncos. Going to move on up to 132 pounds. as the Blue Jays' Cade Carey is going to take on the Broncos' Taylor White at 132 pounds.
Next up, 132 pounds for Guthrie's Cade Carey and Mustang's Taylor.
And back to action we go here. Looked like a little bit of a headgear malfunction, but they're going to wrestle through that. Cade Carey, Blue Jays are really going to want to lean on him, kind of the team captain of these junior high program. Comes out big with a takedown against Taylor White. That's going to be 3 points for the Blue Jays as Cade Carey goes to work on top now. Taylor White doing a good job basing up on bottom. Carey went for a cradle. Cade did a good job of just stabbing his knees and getting his hips in, trying to get to his feet as Carey wrestling tough on this spiral ride on the inside. Now he's got the arm barred up. As he's riding tough on top, Taylor White not going to his belly. He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job of staying on his knees and trying to come up. It's making it hard for Carey to really get any pin holds. He did go for that cradle earlier, but Cade's going to have to try to break him down to his belly so that he can have an easier time trying to score near fall or get the pin. And Taylor White's going to be trying to get to his feet where he's less likely to get turned to his back and give up points. That's kind of the game on top and bottom, but now Cade Carey lets him go. Coaches want points and takedowns, so Cade's going to go to work on his feet. See if he can get another one. Nice little outside single to the right. Now Taylor White's got him bellied out. Taylor White's trying to get behind, but Cade Carey scoops the outside leg, comes up with the double leg. Nice swims for a half out of that position. He's got to get out to the side and just run that. If he does that, he'll be in trouble, but Taylor White hooking his leg and not allowing Cade to get to the outside. That was just a clever little move there. Now Cade got the 3 points for the takedown. He's going to be up 6-1 with 20 seconds to go in the first. He's got that inside bar arm now. He can tilt with this if he chooses to do so, but it looks like he's just going to try to ride out this first period. Keep that lead 6-1 going into the second. We're down under 5 seconds now. And Cade Carey in control of this match. Much needed for the Blue Jays. It's been a tough out so far. And they're going to lean hard on their 8th grade leader here. I guess 7th grader. Cade's a 7th grader, and they are going to need him to pick up some wins, possibly a bonus for them to get them on the board. Choice goes to Guthrie. They go down. Cade Carey up on his feet. There is a locked hands call. The referee will let them wrestle through this. As Cade now comes out into like a snake position. Oh, he's got this tight, folks. Taylor White in trouble on that transition, and Cade Carey picks up 6 points for the Blue Jays. Did a nice job there, staying aggressive and waiting his time to catch Taylor White on his back. 140 pounds is going to be our next matchup. At 140 pounds, the Blue Jays are going to march out Daniel Allen.
Next up at 140 pounds, Guthrie.
And our 140-pounder from Mustang is going to be Aiden Crisp. Long high C attempt, able to scoot underneath and get right in and get that takedown. Aiden Crisp shot from pretty far away, but just a smooth, slick takedown. Able to get underneath Daniel Allen's tie and was able to get there for that high C. Aiden Crisp looked like that was not the first time he did it. This kid's pretty tough here. Transitions to a single leg. Now he's got it up in the air. Allen's got to bail out here so he doesn't go to his back. That's going to be 3 more points for Aiden Crisp. Currently 6-1 for the Bronco. Roll through tilt. He's got that arm barred, trying to roll through tilt. Now he's getting near fall. It's tight. I don't know if he can get the fall there. He had it tight enough for a minute. Now he won't get those 4 points near fall until he lets go of the hold. You can't continue to score the same points with the same hold, but you can pin after getting points. So he's gonna get the 4 points, and now Daniel Allen able to scramble out of that. Winds up back on his back for his effort as Aiden Crisp just transitions from one move to another. He got his near fall points. That's going to put him up 10-1. Daniel Allen still on bottom here with 35 seconds to go. There's got his arm caught again, another bar arm, and there's another roll through tilt. Allen's got to sit up hard here. His shoulders are going to get stuck down on the mat. That's a tight one, and that's going to be 4 points near fall. He lets go of the hold. It's going to put him up 14-1 with 15 seconds to go. Trying to get that tech fall. If he can't get the pin, the tech fall is going to be good for 5 points for his team. If he gets a pin, it's going to be good for 6. So coaches would probably prefer the fall. Daniel Allen might have something to say about that. So they may just be going for tech fall territory. Currently up 13 points. He's going to need to get away or get a reversal or get a takedown in order to finish this thing up. To his feet quick he goes. Allen trying to get a big lift to knock him down. Trying to keep on top here. Chris reached back like he was going to try a neck whip. Was a little bit concerned about what Allen might do, so he went back to the front and then wisely just peeled hands and got his escape. Now we're just 1 point away from a tech fall, and that 3 points is going to do it. And that is going to conclude that matchup. Second period match. Your winner, Aiden Chris, for the Broncos. Going to bump up now to 155 pounds. The Guthrie Bluejays are going to wrestle Malcolm Kristen. And the Broncos, Aiden Rubidoux. Aiden Rubidoux, state placer last year and having a good year so far this year. This is going to be a tough one for Malcolm. He's wrestling one of the best kids in the state at this weight. And just for the record, guys, junior high state is not done by class. Not done by class. So what that means is there's no 4A, there's no 5A, there's no 6A. There's just junior high state. All classes compete in one bracket. And so when I say that Aiden Rubidoux is one of the best in the state, literally that's what that means. In all classes, he is one of the best as he goes to work on top here. And folks, I got to make a correction on my graphic here. That is not Malcolm wrestling. That's Aiden Macy for the Blue Jays on bottom down there. So that graphical change for us. That's my bad. Just going by what was written down. Not really paying attention here. Aiden Macy finds himself on his back now. Not in a great position here. Is Aiden Rubidoux really trying to get this fall? He's lifting the head, pulling the arm. Flexible Aiden Macy. He's actually been pretty decent down here as far as getting falls. He's flexible, and he's awkward enough that he can move. He's pushing on that far hip. He's doing things right, and he's able to get off his back. That was a nice job by Aiden Macy, not giving up the fall there. But Aiden Rubidoux is going to pick up 4 more points, 4 near fall. That's going to put him up 10-1. And now he gets right back on that chicken wing. He's running that arm back. And, man, the flexibility of Aiden Macy only gives up 2 near fall on that. And that's going to conclude the first period. Well, Mustangs' Aiden Rubidoux is winning 12-1 over Guthrie's Aiden Macy. Choice is going to go to Macy. I'm sorry. It's going to go to Rubidoux. He's going to choose bottom. Guthrie's Aiden Macy's going to hop on top here as they get back to work in the second period. Junior high second period is 1 minute and 30 seconds. The third period is likewise. They wrestle a 2-minute first period, and then the last 2 periods are minute and a half. High school will go 2-2-2, but junior high is a little bit different. These boys don't wrestle quite as long, and that's a reversal for Aiden Rubidoux. That's going to put him up 15-1. So he's running a mean half out here to the side. And Aiden Macy, to his credit, is fighting hard. But now that elbow, if his elbow gets up by his ear, if it gets up above his head, this is super, super contorted. Macy does a good job. He's posting his left leg. You see that posted left leg? It makes it difficult to run a half when a guy's on his knee and he posts that left leg, because if you keep pushing, he'll stand up on you. Then you really lose everything. So there's got to be an adjustment made, and it's kind of a back and forth. Aiden Macy, to his credit, knew what to do, knew how to defend that. And now Rubidoux frustrated. He's just going to get one more takedown here and try to finish this match on his feet. Shoots right in on a single leg. Looks like he's going to finish that for 3 more points, and that will be the match. Gets that tech fall in the second period. You know, this season has been heavy with bonus on the top end just because of the new score system. The 3-point takedowns and the 2-point near fall have really made things to where scores will run up quick. We've seen so many more tech falls this year than we've ever seen. We've also seen a lot of major decisions that normally would not be. So it's been quite interesting to watch. We're moving on to 170 pounds. And at 170 pounds, Levi Pedersen is wrestling for the Broncos, and Dane Henson for the Blue Jays. Definitely getting into the big boys now. Just a difference in size. You saw it in the last matchup, and now this one especially. These bigger boys will be a lot heavier in their ties. A little bit more physical up there. You'll see a little bit less action as far as shooting goes, as far as leg attacks. But when you do, it's a lot bigger risk. But the reward is obviously great as well. These bigger guys will definitely get after it. Looks like we've got, I don't know if it's blood time perhaps. Looks like a little blood time. You're seeing Dane Henson down there talking to junior high coach Alex Fields, who is a Guthrie alum. Alex came back home maybe 3 years ago, and he's been helping out at the high school along with the junior high both. Alex wrestled for the Blue Jays and then went to college for the whole COVID process. So I believe Alex wrestled maybe 6-7 years in college, whatever that does. And then he came back home and wanted to coach at his alma mater and has done a great job of that. You saw Jaden Davenport, high school coach, came in as well to offer his input to his young athlete. Dane's going to be wrestling for him next year. And so Jaden definitely trying to throw in his 2 cents as well. And they got that blood cleaned up. Levi Pedersen is good to go, and we're back to action here in the first period of this 170-pound matchup. The duel thus far has pretty much been all Mustang, but Dane Henson here is going to try to make a match of this one at 170 and get some more points on the board for his Blue Jays. And Levi Pedersen here with a heavy inside collar tie and heavy arm tie passes. He's passing very well. These guys, again, there's heavy ties here. Both guys leaning into those pushes. Like say, if somebody were to hit like an outside single attack or a swing of some kind, that's able to get outside. But Dane goes inside, shoots from too far away, and shoots across the body. And that shot was easily defended by Levi Pedersen. It was the right idea. Dane's trying to get better at his shots. He just shot from a little bit too far away, a little bit too telegraphed. And so Pedersen was able to get an easy sprawl and get around behind. But now he's bleeding again. Now, blood time, he will get 5 minutes of blood time. And that can be extended even further because as long as he's bleeding, he gets 5 minutes. But if it takes longer to clean up, they don't count cleanup against your blood time. So they try to give you every chance to wrestle, and surely 5 minutes of bleeding is enough to call it quits. But they will basically, it looks like he's just got a bloody lip, maybe a bloody nose. I can't quite see. Bloody noses sometimes just like to run. It's not that big of a deal. He's not losing a lot of blood. It's just once it happens, they try to keep things clean, so they'll get that stopped, and then they'll get back to work here. There's head coach of the junior high, Parrish Pierce, with the long hair there and the black vest, coaching up his athlete. trying to encourage him. Coach Pierce came to the junior high as the head coach last season. And if there is a more motivational speaker out there, I would love to see him, because Coach Pierce can motivate a rock to move. That man has done wonders with these boys, and we really appreciate all his effort. He's a great guy, good coach. We're lucky to have him. Glad he's here. And they are cleaning things up. Coach Pierce putting in his 2 cents. Alex Fields back out on the mat. You saw Caleb Gibson come in there as well. Really a great coaching staff that we have here in Guthrie, trying to get this program built up to where we all want it to be. A lot of young wrestlers out here getting better every day, putting in a lot of work. And Dane Henson out there getting all kinds of instruction as they're getting Levi Pedersen cleaned up down there. Looks like they got the blood stopped. He's fine. So if he's got a mom at home, don't worry. He's okay. They're just trying to get it all cleaned up. And it looks like we're going to be back to action. 27 seconds left to go in the first period. Dane Henson on bottom. He's down 3-0 to Levi Pedersen of the Broncos. Dane right to his feet, does a great job. And what happened there, if the wrestler on bottom stands up and his arm is trapped, they will stop the match for potentially dangerous, because the likelihood of him getting picked up and thrown like that without his arm means that his head will be the first thing to make contact. So the referees are now stopping those for potentially dangerous. But now we're back to work here. Dane was able to get back to his feet. He got thrown back down. Now here is the chop arm far wrist. Mustang has been successful with this all night tonight. And they're getting back to work here. It's Dane Henson with the Blue Jays down 3-0. Mustang's choice. Levi Pedersen's going to go down as we get back to action here in the second period. There's a sit-out switching reverse for Levi Pedersen as he picks up 2 more points. Dane Henson gets right to his feet as they go out of bounds. They'll get back to the center. A lot of points exchanged in a short amount of time. And now we've got more blood on the mat. So they'll send the crews back out to get things cleaned up. Want to keep everything sanitary down here. And these guys will keep doing what they do. Referee Mitch Brown down there talking to head coach Parrish Pierce. And Mitch, another one of the great referees we have here in Oklahoma. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's been doing a good job for a long time. We really appreciate him coming out here tonight, spending his Thursday evening, playing his part in the great sport of wrestling. Can't do any of this without our officials. It's one of the most thankless jobs out there, but definitely one of the most important jobs out there. So we want to thank Mitch Brown and the rest of the referees around the state that take time out of their day to come out and help keep this sport moving along. Most of these guys are ex-wrestlers, and this is the way they contribute back to the sport. They come out and do this for us, and we appreciate that. We're back to action here, second period. Dane Henson of the Blue Jays is on bottom. Levi Pedersen of Mustang is on top. He's up 5-0. Dane Henson on bottom now, getting a hammerlock put on. Inside bar arm turned to a hammerlock. Now he's in trouble. Not a good position for Dane here. Now Pedersen's got the chicken wing and the bar arm on the far side. Dane's got to turn the other way. He's turning into this. He needed to be posturing the other way, as that made it easier for Pedersen to run that over. Now Dane finds himself in trouble on bottom. He's bridging hard. You can see his inside shoulder is up. Now he gets his arm out. That's a good job by Dane Henson fighting, but Levi Pedersen's going to pick up 4 more points for running that chicken wing. And now he's got a deep half. He slapped that on quick, and now he's Dane Henson in trouble. That was a deep half, and that's going to be 6 more points for the Broncos of Mustang. We're going to move up to 100 and 95 pounds. Getting into some even bigger boys for the Blue Jays. Sebastian Smith is going to be taking on A.J. Parker Riley.
Next up at 195 pounds, Guthrie, Sebastian Smith, and Mustang.
These big boys are back to work. Heavy on the ties they go. And Riley doing a good job keeping the inside ties on that collar tie. Sebastian Smith just kind of reaching and holding on to the outside. A.J. Parker Riley, with all of the inside control, is going to have his way here with those tie-ups as long as he stays inside. Big man shoots a high crotch. And now, look at this, Sebastian Smith. Sebastian Smith able to run him over, but they get out of bounds before any points are awarded. And that was a close call. Sebastian Smith nearly had the 2 points. Riley, though, to his credit, he has the inside ties, and he's really working for a takedown here. Normally big boys aren't doing that, but now they are. Sebastian Smith with a big outside club. Going to have to be careful there. I think if the referee were on the other side, he probably wouldn't have liked that. And now Riley takes a shot and kind of in a similar position, and Sebastian nearly gets behind. And they get back to work here. Riley really pulling down hard on the head of Sebastian, starting to get him frustrated a little bit. Now Sebastian gets some inside ties. That's where he needs to be. At least on the left side, he's got an inside tie. That'll make it harder for Parker to shoot. As long as Riley's got those inside ties, he's going to have access to the legs. But now Sebastian with a big snap down. He's got Riley in trouble. He's just got to get behind. Riley able to wiggle out the side. And they're back on their feet now. Big, heavy snap downs. Heavy collar tie. Riley with another high C attempt. Stall warning call. Sebastian just not able to cut the corner. He's stopping the shot, but not able to score off there. Riley, to his credit, being agile. As Smith comes around the side. There's another shot. Riley has shot 5 or 6 times already today, these big boys. Rarely do you see that many leg attacks. And A.J. Parker Riley really doing an aggressive job with these legs. Sebastian Smith making it very difficult to get taken down. And we're going to go into the second period. And Riley chooses neutral. Now he's got an underhook to a headlock. Back to that collar tie, inside ties. He's really dominating these. Sebastian's starting to wear. He's just leaning on those outside ties. He's going to have to get inside control. Riley's really going to have. There's a high C. And Sebastian comes around, gets 3. He gets a 3-point. That's a takedown for Sebastian. The takedown go behind. And Riley gets right back and up and away for a point. That's going to be 3-1. Sebastian Smith and Guthrie now winning here. And Riley tries for a headlock, and Sebastian sits down on it. And now he's got Parker Riley on his back for the pin. And Sebastian Smith picks up 6 points for the Blue Jays. As these big boys really got after it. What a fun match that was. We're going to move on here to heavyweight. Heavyweight here for the Blue Jays. For heavyweight here. I don't know if... Trying to figure out who we got wrestling. Looks like Kyler Bradford for the Blue Jays is going to take on Kaysen Hall. And more big boys back to work. Going to be a score clock issue here. They weren't quite ready. I told you folks they were getting these matches knocked out quick. It's hard to keep up. Whether you're running the scoreboard, the score clock, or the broadcast, a little bit of time helps those of us on the outside. These boys back in here with heavy collar ties going to work. Again, in these situations where you have the big boys wrestling, really any wrestling, The guy that controls the inside is the one that has access to the legs because you have more defense. You can use your arms to down block, your elbows to block. So when a guy tries to shoot, you can really shut everything down. And if you are inside, it's harder for the outside guy to stop your attacks because you're controlling his elbow blocks and his hand blocks. And so the inside tie is really where the control is. Now, there are things you can do from, little outside throw-bys and things like that, but really with these big boys, the guy that controls the inside, that's got the inside, he's pulling the head down, he's really dominating. Even though he's not scoring any points, that's where the control comes from. And it forces the guy with the outside ties to have to move, to have to adjust. And during those movements and adjustments, that's when you can attack. And so, when you're watching these big boys wrestle, really watch for the guy with the inside ties and what he's trying to do with it. And now kind of a scramble attempt here. And Kyler Bradford holding on to that leg. He needs to let go and get to a good base. Cason Hall with I don't know if it was a snap down go behind or if it was a scramble. They ended up in front headlock position. He was able to get that go behind. Now he's got a deep half. Deep half. You can see the elbow of Bradford over his head, and that always spells trouble when you got a deep half. He's getting near fall here. He's going to if he can make a couple adjustments, he'll get the pin, and Bradford's got to move a little bit. A lot of weight. Cason Hall did a good job securing that fall. Total score for this duel, the Mustang Broncos win 70-12 over the Guthrie Bluejays. Bonus at every weight for both sides. This was a bonus heavy match. Really, the story of the night, takedowns, turns, again, bar arms and roll through tilts is what Mustang was heavy on here, this junior high program. They did a great job of that and really spelled trouble for the Blue Jays early and often. It was takedowns, tilts, and then pins. That was basically the story of this duel. Sprinkled in a couple big boy matches that were a lot of fun. And we end with the Mustang Broncos victorious over the Guthrie Blue Jays. Folks, we're going to take a timeout here and get ready for the girls as they come out and get warmed up. Broadcast is going to stay live. I'm going to take a short break, and then we will be back with you as we get ready for the girls. All right, folks, we are back to live, and they got that score clock turned up hot. I can promise you that. We are live inside the Mustang Broncos High School Gymnasium, where the Guthrie Bluejays are in town for this wrestling duel. You're live on the GMP Network. I am Sean Silvas alongside of Kellen Harden and Lindsay Silvas as we are bringing you this duel on the Guthrie News page. I want to thank everybody for tuning in as we get things off and started. Just finished up the junior high duel. And the Broncos had a big lead over the Guthrie Bluejays, and we're going to kick things off tonight. Not sure the order of how this is going to work. I've got a list here in front of me, guys, and this is not what I'm seeing. Currently wrestling for the Blue Jays is Gabby Kirk. And she's off to a quick takedown. And I'm not sure who Gabby Kirk is wrestling. She's not on my roster tonight. Gabby typically wrestling somewhere around 110 pounds. 105 maybe? We're just going to have to put Mustang up there. I apologize. Not sure who she's wrestling. We'll leave it at 105 pounds. Gabby Kirk going to work on top. Got a chicken wing here. She's up 3-0. And she's running that chicken wing. Trying to get a score, but a flexible Mustang wrestler here. Back to her feet now. Ooh. Yeah, good call by referee Mitch Brown here on that one. Those knees get in situations or positions like that, and there's no reason for anyone to get hurt. So back to work here on top. Gabby Kirk going to work with a bar arm, wrestling aggressive here. Mustang girl trying to get back to her base. She doesn't want to stay down on bottom too long, or she'll get herself in trouble. Gabby Kirk will go to work here, as she is a tough one on top for sure. She's got this chicken wing run over. Now she's picking up near fall. Not sure if she's in position for the fall yet or not. Can't really see here. Referee's in the way. She's trying to get the fall. Got the inside arm, but she's lost the arm underneath. You can see her felling around there. She's trying to pull it. You can see just right in the camera here, right behind the head. Looks like Gabby recaptured that arm, but the inside arm of the Mustang girl is still up. That inside shoulder is just loose enough. She's keeping her shoulder up. You can see them struggling here. She's trying to get up, trying to get her arm re-caught. Gabby gets the pin. I was thinking she wasn't going to be able to sit out on that, but she definitely was able to pick that up. That's going to be 6 points for the Blue Jays. Now, we're going to score all these girls as if it were a duel. I'm not sure. This was a junior high duel for sure. I'm not sure how they're going to go about this, so we're just going to have a little fun here on the broadcast and just kind of score the girls as they wrestle. We're going to this whole entire girls is just going to be one long duel-ish, if you will, on the score clock. Not really anything official here. Neither one of the teams is full, but these girls are just going to wrestle. This here at 105 pounds is Eva Luna Ellis, and I'm going to go ahead and assume, no, this is not. I don't know if maybe these are exhibitions or what this is, but yeah, a little bit confused here on who is wrestling, so we're just going to call it Guthrie and Mustang for now. As the weigh-in sheet that I have, folks, I'm sorry, is nowhere close to what I'm looking at here out on the mat. But Guthrie now on top, running this half deep. As she's running this half deep, Mustang caught down here on bottom now, trying to pick up the fall, and she gets it right before she gets rolled back through. And that's going to pick up 6 more points for the Blue Jay girls team here as they come out strong tonight. We saw this in the duel on Tuesday night. The junior high girls came out, scored a bunch of points. And then the high school girls trying to figure out who they're calling now. I know for sure this is Bailey Harden for the Blue Jays. Mustang wrestler, I'm not sure. Bailey with a big takedown, gets straight to a cradle and a pin. That is a 13-second pin for Bailey Harden for the Blue Jays. As she picks up a quick fall, that's going to be 6 more points for the Blue Jays on this girls duel. Now, all of these duels, I think, technically are going to be exhibitions. Don't quote me on this. This will probably go on their records, but they're just going to, usually on, if they're not official duels, what will happen is the girls will be, you know, the coach will say, hey, I got a girl around this weight, you got a girl around that weight. And we're just going to hook them up and see what happens. And I think that's sort of what's happening here. Just give these girls a chance to compete. That's going to be a takedown, too, for the Blue Jays as she goes to work here on top. Trying to dig underneath with that bar arm so she can get to a half. Now she's to a half as Mustang clamming up down there on bottom, trying to keep her elbows in, but Guthrie's got this half. She's rolling her over. She's got to make an adjustment. She's pretty high here, but it looks like she's high enough to push that shoulder down. She makes an adjustment. That's a good thing. Mustang's got to wiggle here and try to get out. As she does, Mustang's fighting hard, but Guthrie able to pick up the fall, and that's going to be 6 more points for Guthrie. It's been all first period pins so far in this girls' duel. So Jalen Scott out there wrestling for and Chloe Lansbury on bottom here for the Blue Jays. Gives up the takedown as Scott picks up 3. Looks like maybe she does a full Nelson. So she puts in 2 halves. Definitely can't do that. Chloe Lansbury, this is going to be a 155-pound matchup. And now Scott trying to work that half on the right side. Lansbury doing a good job of posturing. She's sitting out against it. And now Scott's going to hop sides and try the half on the other side. She's successful, rolls it over tight, and picks up the fall. Chloe Lansbury not able. She did a great job posturing the one way, and then quickly Chloe Scott jumps to the other side and catches her before she can switch her hips and gets rolled up in a super tight half there on the whistle. Now back again is Gabby Kirk for the Blue Jays. We just saw her wrestle, and she's going to go again. Again, not sure who she's wrestling. I do apologize for that. Back to into ear-to-ear control here. Both girls with a collar tie. It's a very neutral position. When you're ear-to-ear, both girls have the same thing, but Gabby's able to peek out underneath in a short little duck under. Duck under pass by, gets the 3 for the takedown. Now she goes to work. And this little, it's like a little head lever arm pick. She's going to try to get a cradle out of here. We see her do it quite a bit. It's kind of her thing. And now she's a little bit too far out front as the Mustang girl has elbow control. She's holding tight on that elbow. You can see it here on the left side. And now Gabby Kirk's trying for the snake. She's got her elbow super deep. This Mustang girl's pulling that arm under. It's almost like climbing a rope. If she's able to climb that rope, she can get her head out like she just did and get back to her feet. Anytime you climb the rope like that, it makes it really hard for the girl on top to really have a lot of control. You take her shoulder position away, and you can't do much there. So Gabby forced to let her go, and we're back to our feeder. Snap down, go behind. Good job here, Gabby Kirk. She's going to pick up 3 more, and that's going to be 3 more points for Gabby. That's going to put her up 6-1. She's getting near fall now here. She's got a half. It's loose, but she's got the arm trapped under there. She's got the near fall. Now she's got a snake hooked up. She's got the head. She's got this underhook on the right side. She's trying it on the other side. Now she's got it. She's got it deep. But she lost the head. Again, the Mustang girl controlling that elbow. It's making it hard for Gabby to do what she wants to do. But Gabby's going aggressive here. She got the 4 points for the near fall, so she's got 2 takedowns, and she's got a near fall. That's a total of 10 points, and we've talked about it. These points will rack up so quickly. The points will rack up so quickly when you get 4-point near fall and 3-point takedown. This new rule set has really made points and major decisions and technical falls easier to get. And the Mustang girl finds herself down 10-1. Going into the second period, it's going to be Guthrie's choice. Coaches are going to put Gabby down. And we're back to action as she quad pods up on the whistle. Got her head on the mat. She's going to have to get that up and get back to work and stay busy. She's keeping a hard, solid stance, but now she's got her arm trapped underneath there. As the Mustang girl's trying to roll through tilt, but Gabby able to come up to the head as she's got this headlock locked up, and she's going to get the fall. Another pin for the Blue Jays. And that's going to be 6 more points for the girls. And we're still rocking and rolling here. Not sure. I think that's going to conclude the junior high girls. Don't quote me on that. Big time win for those girls, though. I think that was the junior high girls that just competed. And perhaps now the high school girls are going to get warmed up. I see some of our girls down there. For the high school starting to warm up, but I'm not sure if they have matches or what's going on here. So we'll stay tuned here and see what we have going on. Looks like coaches are trying to make some more matchups. So we're working on some score clock. I see Isla Mae Smith down here warming up, like getting her headgear ready. So I know the high school girls are fixing to wrestle. So junior high girls really. So the junior high boys dominated the junior for Mustang. The junior high girls for Guthrie dominated their outing. A little bit of a back and forth here tonight. It's been a fun duel so far as coaches are now preparing their high school girls for competition. Not sure. There's no timer up there yet. So I'm going to check out here for just a second. And we'll see what's going on down there, and I'll pick back up here as soon as I got some answers for you.
Tonight's next duel will feature the Blue Jays of Guthrie and your Mustang Lady Broncos. Both teams involved in tonight's matchup are committed to the sportsmanship goals of the OSSAA. Your cooperation and support of high school athletics and great sportsmanship is appreciated. At this time, we ask that all fans that are able to, would you please stand and direct your attention to the American flag for the singing of our national anthem. Singing the national anthem tonight is Mustang High School's very own senior, Jenna Johnson.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
All right, folks, we're back to action here now. The girls, high school girls, are coming in. Looks like the fans are showing up too. Junior high matches, like I was saying earlier. Junior high matches were a little bit lopsided for the boys. Mustang Broncos were up somewhere north of 70 points to 12. It was all bonus on both sides. And then we went to the girls' junior high, where it was lopsided for the Blue Jays, where the Blue Jay girls, I believe, won 42-0. It was all pins for them. And now we roll out what might be considered the first official head-to-head duel for the Guthrie Blue Jay girls high school team. Last night we had several exhibition-style matches on Tuesday night at home, but tonight this is a full-fledged duel. All the lights, all the action. They've got graphics up for the girls, and they are lined up on the map. So this is pretty exciting if you're a Blue Jay fan. The first time our girls program has hit a duel. This ought to be a fun one for them as they make history down there. Want to give the Mustang Broncos props for being such good hosts. They let us in here, gave us the Wi-Fi. They set us up in a nice booth, gave us a good shot for our cameras, and have been so accommodating. And we really appreciate them allowing us to be here to broadcast this for you on the GNP network. I'm going to check out for a second so you guys can watch these introductions.
Guthrie is Boyd. Mustang is Ella Langham. And at 110 pounds, Guthrie has Mia Rollins. Mustang is Boyd. Next up, at 115 pounds, Guthrie is Boyd. And Mustang is Ava Core. 120 pounds, Guthrie's Boyd. Mustang has Ariana Castillo. 135 pounds, Guthrie's Boyd in Mustang has Whitney Bryant. At 140 pounds, Guthrie has Cadence Bowden. Mustang's Boyd. At 145 pounds, for Guthrie, it's Ella Mae Smith. And for Mustang, Rayette Green. At 155 pounds for Guthrie, it's Peyton Botberg. And for Mustang, Georgia Horn. At 170 pounds for Guthrie, Mackenzie Hardesty. And for Mustang, it's Ada Dillard. At 190 pounds, Guthrie's Boyd, but Mustang has Kaylee Gallion. And at 235, Guthrie's Boyd, Mustang has Emily Castillo. Captains in the center of the mat for the coin toss. Head coach for Guthrie is Levi Casey. Head coach for Mustang, Will Stacks. The Lady Broncos enter tonight's duel with a
It's going to be a fun one tonight, guys. Sort of exciting to see Guthrie Blue Jay girls head-to-head in a duel. Only got 8 weights to fill, still not a full team, but we have a team this year. And so we're getting to witness the first time they face off at a duel. I'm sure this is super exciting. You know, the girls that were wrestling for our team last year never got to experience anything like this. And at the last minute, this season started, and we were able to put together this girls' team. Levi Casey stepped up alongside Andrew Harden, and we got this girls' team together. Got a bunch of girls out, junior high and high school, all practicing together, and we have got a dual team officially. This is a monumental moment for the Guthrie Blue Jays. So a lot of points are going to be awarded to Mustang because of all the voids, but it's going to be fun to just watch them come out here and compete for the first time in a duel. Want to give props to tonight's official, Mitch Brown, as he's been officiating the junior high. He's going to do the high school duel as well, and he has been around a long time. I was talking about him earlier. He is a great official, and
110 pounds.
He's gonna have his work cut out for him. He's only halfway done for the night, as he's going to be doing 4 duels. So what's going to happen here, it looks like, so just for the point's sake, Ella Longham for Mustang took the forfeit at 105 pounds, and then Mia Rawlings of Guthrie took the forfeit at 110 pounds. So as far as points are concerned for the duel, they're going to cross out 6 and 6, but these two girls are going to hook it up and wrestle tonight for our enjoyment. So Mia Rawlings is going to be on the mat for the Blue Jays.
Langham on a double leg. Off the mat, no points.
And for Mustang, Ella Longham is wrestling. We're going to call this 110 pounds. I know it's one of them's 110, one of them's 105, but this is where we're at. So the dual score currently sits at 6-12, and this match will not affect that dual score. But this is an exhibition match. These two girls, like I said, are at different weights. But now Longham throws a headlock here, sort of just a pushover headlock, catches Mia Rawlings on her back out of bounds, and that's going to be a fall as Ella Langham picks up the win for the Mustang Broncos. There's going to be a couple more forfeits for both teams, and then we're going to be picking up, I believe, at 125 pounds. We're going to walk a few girls out and get some forfeits, but I believe that's what's going to happen here.
Okay, next up, at 115 pounds, let's welcome to the mat, Mustangs, Ava Moore.
So we're walking through.
120 pounds, Guthrie's
Arena Castillo.
Let's welcome to the mat, Mustangs, Ariana Castillo.
Ariana Castillo's who's coming out now. As we're bumping girls around. Not sure. Weight classes here, but they're knocking through these. All these points are going to go to Mustang because the Blue Jays don't have any wrestlers at this weight, but we are going to get 8 matchups today, so that's going to be fun.
For Guthrie Bluejays, let's welcome to the mat, Mariah Franklin.
And Mariah Franklin is going to be wrestling for the Broncos, and this is going to be a 125-pound matchup. As these two girls lock it up early, Bella Rose goes inside, ties on a heavy collar tie. Now wrist ties for Franklin. She's tying up those wrists. Now Bella's got a wrist of her own. Franklin with a snap down, and they go back to action here. Heavy ties inside. Not inside, that's an outside single. High crotch, Bella shoots for, misses, but now she regroups. She regroups, knee slides, pulls it up, and now Franklin throws just basically a little lat drop to a hook and catches Bella on her back. Bella fighting hard here. Had a beautiful high C, and somehow Franklin able to throw, just catches her with that hook, sort of like a lat drop overhook. And man, Bella fights hard here, but Mariah Franklin able to pick up the fall at 125 pounds for the Broncos. A quick match, but a fun one. We're going to move on to the next matchup. Going to be a couple more forfeits here. And I'm going to guess at who is wrestling. I believe it's going to be Whitney Bryant. I think she's going to pick up a forfeit here. And then I think Cadence Blevins for the Blue Jays is going to pick up a forfeit. And then I bet they wrestle this match anyway. So the dual score will kind of break even. Currently 36-12.
Next down at 140 pounds, Guthrie's.
So it looks like Cadence is going to go out and get the forfeit. I would assume they're going to wrestle that match, but the way that Whitney ran off the mat, perhaps I've got the wrong.
At 140 pounds, Cadence Blevins from Guthrie received the forfeit.
And it looks like that's just going to be the way that goes. Those girls are not going to wrestle, so I guessed wrong. But now it looks like we are going to get a 145-pound matchup, and it looks like all the way up through 190, we're going to get, actually through 170, we're going to get matches. So there should be a good run here with a lot less forfeits, starting at 145 pounds. Blue Jays are going to run out Isla Mae Smith. And Rayanne Gregg is going to be wrestling for Mustang. Trying for the headlock there is Gregg. And she misses. Isla Mae set down hard on that. Now she throws a headlock of her own and gets caught to her belly. Trying to answer right back. It's not effective here. Gave up 3 points for her trouble. And now Isla Mae's down on bottom, sits out, reaches back for the head, tries a Gazzoni. Trying to just stay in tough position here. Isla's got to get back to her base and get back where she was. Meanwhile, Rayanne Gregg's got Isla belly down, and this is where she can go to work to start getting turns. If you get someone bellied out, this is where points are easier to get. Isla's got to get to her knees and start basing up. Rayanne Gregg doing a good job of just keeping heavy hip pressure. She's just sitting back on that hip and driving forward. Makes it really, really hard for Isla to get up off of bottom. She's got to push up to her knees. As she does here, she's got to get back to her base. And Gregg just bumps her right back down. This has been the story so far, this top and bottom. Isla bases up, Gregg puts her right back down. And this will wear on a bottom person. This will wear on a bottom girl if she's not able to get up to her feet. Just every time you got to push up, every time you're pushing your weight, you're pushing your opponent's weight, and you're just at a disadvantage there. It's hard to get out from this position, especially when a girl on top sits back on those hips like she was. So the way this goes, person on top, their responsibility is to try and get points. And if they're not trying to score points, if they're just holding on, just riding, they'll get called for stalling because they're not trying to advance. Same thing will happen to the bottom person. If they're just laying there and just defending and not trying to score, not trying to get up, then they will get called for stalling. Isla May, though, this time sits out, gets up, gets to her feet. Now she throws a headlock, goes right back to the well that cost her earlier. And instead, she gets the headlock this time. No near fall, but she does get the takedown. And now she's going to work on a half of her own. Rayanne Gregg just seemed to not quite be ready when she got to her feet. And Isla May attacked hard and went right back for that headlock. Isla now going for something big. Oh, boy, as we finish out that first period, guys, that clock is so loud. I apologize. I keep forgetting to turn that down. So what an exciting first match. 4-3, Isla May Smith gets a takedown. Actually, she gets an escape and then a takedown to tie Rayanne Gregg. The first takedown, Gregg got. Isla tried a headlock, and Gregg was able to stop it. The second time, Isla got the headlock, and now it's going to be Gregg's choice. She's going to go down. Isla May Smith on top, start the second period. And Gregg does a good job with just a sit-out hip high. She's going to work. She twists on top. Not really a switch as much as just a scramble. She kind of hits a sit-out, turn in, sort of a hip high, just switching of the body and able to spin out on top of Isla May Smith to pick up 2 for the reversal. And now she gets back to work on top. Remember, Rayanne Gregg does have a stall call from the top position, so she's going to have to get out to the side and get busy. She can't just sit behind like she was, and she's definitely not. She was working out to the spiral on the side. Now she's got the cross face on the right side, trying to get a cross face cradle here. Isla's trying to stay long, and Isla's going to have to, if she stays clammed up, she'll get nailed for stalling, so she's got to stay busy on bottom as well, as Isla's trying to base up to her feet now. Remember, in the first, she was able to hit a sit-out, and that got her loose enough where she could post and stand. Isla now hanging on hard to that arm, really just anchoring herself. She's getting loose. She's posting. She's trying to come up. She's got that inside leg. Looked like she was going to try for maybe like a short carry out of that, but wasn't quite able to do it. Rayanne Gregg kept her hips back and made that not possible. But now Isla May, just a posting stand-up. She works up. She does a good job getting to her feet there. But for her effort, Rayanne Gregg just brings her right back down to the mat, all the way to her belly. Again, a tough position to fight from. And now Gregg gets a half, and she's got Isla May in trouble. There's a lot of time on the clock, 30 seconds. Isla's got to fight this. That's a long time to fight here. Isla's in a lot of trouble here. Gregg with a deep half, able to pick up the fall, and that's going to be 6 more points for the Broncos of Mustang. And what was a fun girls match, probably the best one of the night so far. As a back and forth, Rayanne Gregg able to pick up the pin in the second period. We're going to bump up to 155 pounds for the girls. And Peyton Edberg for the Blue Jays is going to be taking on Georgia Horn. Current score of the duel, Blue Jays 18 to the Broncos 48. Remember, a big chunk of those points came from all the forfeits, as the Blue Jays only have 8 girls on this high school roster, but Blue Jays have a team this year, and that is exciting. It's not a full roster like Mustang has. Mustang definitely has a lot more girls out, but Blue Jays are trying to get to that point. We want to put hats off to Coach Casey and the crew down there working hard to build this girls program in its first season. That's a quick takedown for Peyton Edberg. I'm sorry, for Georgia Horn. As Peyton Edberg finds herself on bottom, just a knee pick. And Edberg had to belly out for that, so she didn't get turned, and now she's fighting on bottom. Chicken wing here by Georgia Horn. She's got the chicken wing on the left side. She's got to run it around. She's caught the bottom arm. That's what caught that front shoulder. And now Edinburgh's trying to fight off her back, but Horn's got that bottom arm caught. This is going to be a fall. And that's going to be 6 more points for Mustang. Next matchup here is going to be 170 pounds. As the Blue Jays are going to wrestle Mackenzie Hardesty.
Guthrie sends out Mackenzie Hardesty. Let's welcome to the mat, Mustang's Adeline Dillard.
And Adeline Dillard is going to be wrestling for Mustang. A couple of nights ago, Mackenzie Hardesty had a fun one at home. She fell a little short. Maybe tonight she'll get the win she was looking for. These girls, she's getting her head pulled down hard here. Not really a snap down, just a heavy collar tie as they get back to work now. Hardesty gets snapped down on that leg attack. She attempted to shoot there, and Adeline Dillard just had too much control of the head, was able to snap down and go behind as she gets to work on top. Mackenzie Hardesty trying to base back up here. She's got to try to get not just to her knees and elbows, but to her knees and her hands. Being on your elbows allows the top person to catch wrists and run halves, and that's exactly what Adeline Dillard's doing here as she's got a deep half set. Mackenzie Hardesty flexible, as it's still hard for me to watch sometimes these girls, how flexible they are compared to the boys. But, man, Mackenzie Hardesty here fighting this half hard as Adeline Dillard diligently just keeps grinding this thing away as she's walking that arm out, and she picks up a fall. That's going to be 6 more points for the Broncos. And the Broncos are going to pick up 2 more forfeit wins as the Blue Jays do not have another wrestler. That is all of the high school girls. Like I say, we only had 8, so we wrestled 7 of the 8. The other ones picked up some forfeits. So they're going to pick up forfeits here, and that's going to conclude the duel once they walk these girls out to get their wins. A fun match again for the Blue Jays, the first time the girls competed as a team in the year 2024. So that is an exciting time if you're a Blue Jay fan to see our girls march out there. Like I say, the junior high girls did a great job, and the high school girls as well came out here to wrestle their first duel against Mustang, and what was a fun one. Mustang's going to win this one 72-18 as we are going to take another break. Just want to say one more time, hats off to our Guthrie girls coaches. Levi Casey, Andrew Harden, Ashley Vaughn as well have been down there working with these girls since the start of the season. A lot of these girls are brand new. They just wanted to come out and try it, and I believe these coaches are going to make wrestlers out of them. We've also got a few girls that have wrestled a couple of years in the past, and they are helping to lead this team and teach these girls. Coaches are really working diligent, just like, say, a first-year program, a lot of first-year girls, but they have done an excellent job. I know these girls are winning some medals at tournaments. They're having a lot of fun. You can see them out here competing hard, and we just want to tip our hat to the Guthrie Blue Jay girls wrestling team for all of their effort. And again, thanks to those coaches for stepping up and making things happen. Guys, we're going to take another quick break. Looks like we've got 20 minutes between now and the high school boys. So I'm going to take a quick break myself. We're going to leave it on the broadcast. You guys can tune in to watching them warm up. There's 19 minutes and 45 seconds until we start again. I'll come back here in about 5 minutes and do a preview of this matchup. It should be a fun one for the high school boys. So I'll kick back off in just a few minutes. But I'm going to take a short break, and then I will be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live inside of the Mustang Broncos gymnasium, where the Guthrie Bluejays are in Mustang to take on the Broncos in a wrestling duel. I am with you tonight on the Guthrie News page. Want to thank everybody for tuning in there. I am Sean Silvas alongside Lindsey Silvas and Kellen Harden as we are going to catch what should be a fun duel. Guthrie taking on another 6A school. Mustang ranked number 10 in 6A. And the Guthrie Bluejays still ranked number 7 in 5A as they try to come here and pull off the upset. We saw the Bluejays wrestling on Tuesday night against another 6A powerhouse school in Choctaw. And now they're back in action again Thursday night. So they're wrestling Tuesday, they're wrestling tonight, which is Thursday. Tomorrow they travel to Duncan for a 2-day tournament down there. So they're going to wrestle Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before they head to Christmas break. So this should be it is a busy time for Guthrie wrestling, but it should be a good time for our boys to get in a lot of time on the mat, a lot of experience, and then a good opportunity to write some things down and work on them over the 2-week Christmas break. Want to do a short recap. We've got about 5 minutes before this duel is supposed to start. Down on the mat, you can see the Blue Jays warming up. Just want to give a special shout out to the Mustang administration for being so hospitable. They've done a great job just allowing us to come in here and set up. They've hooked us up to some good Wi-Fi. They have accommodated us greatly, so I do want to thank them for being truly great hosts. That allows us to come up here and keep you folks entertained at home that we're not able to be here. Just want to go through the lineup that we're going to watch tonight. At 106 pounds, Joel Landry of Guthrie is going to be taking on Peyton Morris of Mustang. And two younger wrestlers should be a good matchup here. At 113-pound, Uriah Sisk is going to take on number 6 ranked Elliott Carter, who was last year's state qualifier in 6A, currently ranked number 6 in 6A. And that should be a tough matchup for Uriah Sisk in his second season, but should be a good one to get some experience anyway. At 120 pounds, Guthrie's going to be wrestling number 1 ranked 2-time defending state champion Caden Herendeen, who picked up his first loss of the season in the finals of the Enid National Tournament last weekend. What was that called? I don't know what that tournament was called. But anyway, he picked up his first loss there. Tough loss, but he beat some really, really good kids. Caden is one of the best wrestlers in the state at 120 pounds. But this is going to be, he's going to be taking on, well, I want to go back and make a correction. Elliott Carter is not ranked number 6. So Uriah Sisk is wrestling Elliott Carter, not ranked. I can't read my own notes. At 120 pounds, number 1 ranked in the state, Caden Herendeen, is going to be taking on number 6 ranked Jace Reed, who was the state qualifier last year at the weight, and then he is currently ranked number 6. So sorry, I can't even read my own notes. I like to blame the coaches, but this time it was my own fault. Also listed here is Jace Young Garcia. So I'm not sure. I would assume Jace Reed is going to be taking on Caden Herendeen. That will be my pick. But the coaches might have otherwise plans. You know, a lot of times when they got 2 guys at a weight, they might jockey those wrestlers around to, you know, just the way the matchups go, they might be trying to pick up a win at a different weight. So they might be wrestling Jason Garcia so that Jace Reed can bump up and wrestle at a different weight. They start bumping guys from there. But really, this part of the lineup for Mustang is actually pretty tough, as you'll see. So, but on paper, Jace Reed versus Caden Herendeen ought to be a fun one. 2 ranked wrestlers, 2 state qualifiers, obviously a state champion. That'll be a fun one. At 126 pounds, Aiden Smith of Guthrie is going to be taking on Van Smith of Mustang. Van Smith, number 2 in the state at the weight in 6A. This kid is a hammer. He was a state placer last year, and this past summer he was a Fargo All-American. So Van Smith, a hammer. Aiden Smith will be up against it tonight. On Thursday night, had another hammer. Aiden Smith is getting all of the good ones, and this is good for him, especially going into Christmas break. He's going to be able to take a lot of notes and hopefully improve from this experience. At 132-pound, number 8 ranked Matt Mahalik, ranked number 8 in 5A, is going to be taking on Trustin Douglas, who is currently ranked number 5 in 6A. And Trustin Douglas was a state qualifier last year. Matt Mahalik fell just short of qualifying for state, so this ought to be a good matchup. Number 8 versus number 5. At 138, Thomas Jairus will be taking on Hank Bullard. And Thomas Jairus comes to us from jiu-jitsu in his first season, but really a pretty good wrestler because of his grappling background. Still trying to get his bearings and figure out how this sport works, but Thomas has had a good season so far. He's had a couple big wins in the duels, and so that hopefully can work out well for him. Hank Bullard will probably have something to say about that, so that'll be a fun matchup. Aiden Harden at 144 pounds for the Blue Jays is going to be taking on James Anderson. James Anderson currently ranked number 9 in 6A for the Broncos of Mustang. And so Aiden Harden, freshman, he's had a couple of tough matchups so far this year. Yesterday was able to score on another 6A ranked opponent, so that'll be fun. I'm going to run through here. We got another minute to go before introductions. I got to hurry. 150 pounds. Colton Stevens of the Blue Jays going to be taking on Jaron Peterson. At 157 pounds, Trevor Graves going to be taking on Hudson Graham. At 165, number 9 ranked Clayton Carey is going to be taking on Carlos Castillo. At 175, this should be a fun one if Diggin Reyes wrestles. But at 175 pounds, Bryson Hall, currently ranked number 3 in 5A, is going to be taking on Dragon Reyes or possibly Keegan Tavon. And I believe Keegan is going to be the one wrestling tonight, just based on the notes I got from the coaches. Reyes not quite healed up enough to compete, but man, that would have been a fun one. Hopefully they'll wrestle, but I don't think that's going to be happening. At 190-pound, Roston Usselton, ranked number 9 in 5A, going to be taking on Cavion Moore. And then at 215 pounds, Wyatt Silvis will be taking on Max Baca, or possibly Tyler Powell of the Guthrie Blue Jays will be taking on Max Baca. Not sure. Max Baca of Mustang, but the Blue Jays will send out either Wyatt Silvis or Tyler Powell. And then at 285 pounds, Mustang's going to be wrestling Stone Perkins. And at 285 for the Blue Jays, either Toby Welch, who just came to us from football. You know, the Guthrie Blue Jays were in the state finals up till last Saturday. They played last Saturday, and Toby was on that team, so he just got back on the mat Monday. The coaches might be trying to wrestle him today to see how he does. But Tyler Powell has been wrestling heavyweight for the Blue Jays. So at 215, Tyler Powell can wrestle there or heavyweight. So we're just going to have to see what the coaches decide. But it could be a fun one, as Coach Will Delk, in his 3rd season, is currently ranked number 10 with the Mustang Broncos. And Jaden Davenport, his 6th season for the Blue Jays, currently ranked number 7. He's going to be coming to town to see what they can do. I want to give a special shout out, as always, to our match official, Mitch Brown. He's been working hard all night, and he has already done 3 duels. He did the junior high duel, and then he went on and did the junior high girls, and then he did the high school girls, and now the high school boys. So hats off to Mitch Brown for all his work tonight. And we are going to get introductions, so I'm going to sign off and pick up when this duel starts.
Stool. At 106 pounds, for Guthrie, Joel Landry. And for Mustang, Peyton Morris. At 113 pounds for Guthrie, Uriah Sisk. And for Mustang, Elliot Carter. At 120 pounds for Guthrie, Kadeen Hinton Herondon. And from Mustang, Jace Reed or JCR Garcia. Next up at 126 pounds for Guthrie, Aiden Smith. And for Mustang, returning state runner-up, Dan Smith. At 132 pounds for Guthrie, Matthew Van Halen. And for Mustang, returning state qualifier, Trustin Douglas. Next up at 138 pounds for Guthrie, Thomas Jurius. For Mustang, Hank Bullard. At 144 pounds for Guthrie, Aiden Harden. And for Mustang, fresh off the championship, James Anderson. 150 pounds for Guthrie, Colton Stevens. And for Mustang, Jared Peterson. At 157 pounds for Guthrie, Trevor Graves. And for Mustang, it's Hudson Graham. At 165 pounds for Guthrie, Clayton Carey. And for Mustang, Carlos Castillo. At 175 pounds for Guthrie, Bryson Hall. And for Mustang, Keegan Devon. At 190 pounds for Guthrie, Rustin Uselton. And for Mustang, Kavion Moore. At 215 pounds, it'll either be Wyatt Silvis or Tyler Powell for Guthrie. And for Mustang, Max Baca. And at heavyweight for Guthrie, it's Toby Welch. And for Mustang, Stone Perkins. Captain to the center of the mat.
All right. We should be in for a fun one tonight, folks. I am super excited to see how the Blue Jays stack up against another 6A team. Mustang currently ranked number 10 in 6A. In a stacked 6A field, Mustangs find themselves in the top 10, which means they've got an impressive roster. Blue Jays currently ranked number 7 in 5A. Are going to be up against a tough one tonight. Both these coaches weighed in a few extra wrestlers, which makes me think there could be some finagling going on. Now, to note, Coach Will Delk and Jaden Davenport have coached together in their younger years just out of college, I believe, down in Edmond Memorial. So these guys are not just friendly, they're friends, they're old coaching pals, and so they started putting these duels together. So both of these guys familiar with each other. They've coached together, and now they're on opposite sides in a friendly rivalry as we start our first matchup of the night. Joel Landry is going to be taking on Peyton Morris at 106 pounds. As we kick off here, Joel Landry with a heavy collar tie pulls that head down almost into a snap down position. As they bang back inside. Joel doing a better job with these inside ties. Bit of a contrast. We went from the junior high and the girls, and now these boys out here wrestling quite a bit more speed when you bump back down to these lighter weights. Joel Landry now the wrist tie, heavy wrist tie. He goes back to the head as Peyton Morris shakes it off and goes back, keeps dropping to that knee. Curious if he's going to drop to that knee and take a shot off of it. There's a shot by Joel Landry. Nice deep single leg. As Morris, heavy hips, he catches that back ankle. It's going to make it hard for Landry to circle, but now they're back up. They're circling out. Landry now transitions into a high C. He's trying to crack it down and get his head underneath. Good little scramble here. He's going out the back door now. As he dumps him down back into crackdown, Peyton Morris trying to hang on here. And Joel Landry's going to have to just slowly climb up, gets the 3 points for the takedown. And Peyton Morris, though, trying to scramble up. That's 3 points for Joel Landry. That's going to put him up to start this duel. Guthrie strikes first. That's a good sign for Blue Jay fans. And now Landry chops the arm, trying to gather that inside wrist. Looks like he's digging now for a chicken wing. It'd be better if he'd get him bellied out. It's hard to run a chicken wing when a guy's on his knee, as they can come up just like that. But out of bounds they go. Joel Landry dodges a bullet because Peyton Morris was nearly out. As we first minute and a half gone, we're down to 34 seconds as we're back to action here in the first period. And Peyton Morris back to his feet quick. Landry breaks him down, and now he's got a cross face. He's got the far arm. He's a little high here, going for the cradle, kind of forcing that. He gets out front, and Peyton Morris was wise to it, kicked his legs back. Now Morris trying to get his escape as Landry's running in the front, trying to get back behind. Peyton Morris tries a little peek out, still in trouble here. Landry's still technically on top. Morris is going to want to try to just get his one. Landry's trying to get back behind. This is going to be an escape here. Landry's hanging too far off to the side. And Morris gets away at the buzzer, but no points awarded. So that's going to leave Joel Landry up 3-0 at the conclusion of that first period. Choice is going to go to Mustang, as it will for all of the odd number matches. Mustang goes bottom, and we're back to action. Man, Morris was almost out. Landry got a little bit too high, trying to reach over for that cradle, and Morris nearly escaped. So they're going to put him back down here, hoping he can do the same. Landry now's got that bar arm back. He's trying for that chicken wing, but he's just a little bit too high. He's got to get him broke down to his belly if he wants this to work effectively. Peyton Morris back to his feet quick. Landry puts him back down on the mat. A little back and forth. Now he can run that chicken wing. He's got to get that far post. Landry's got the right idea here. He's just got to get that technique down. He's running the chicken wing over. Now he's getting near fall. And Peyton Morris in trouble. Landry's a little loose on this, trying to flop around. He's going to go back for the reverse half. Now he goes right back to the arm. And Peyton Morris trying to fight off his back here. And coaches at Guthrie want this pin so bad. They're going to need the bonus to win this duel. Bonus is such a big deal. There's a minute to go. A lot of time for Joel Landry to get this fall. There it is. That's 6 points for the Blue Jays as they kick this duel off with a big win from Landry, Joel Landry. What an exciting first matchup that was. Peyton Morris doing what he could to get off bottom, not quite able to get out of that chicken wing hold as we move on to 113 pounds. Elliott Carter's going to be wrestling for Mustang, taking on Uriah Sisk. Guthrie Bluejays currently out 6-0, taking the first lead early. And we're going to kick this matchup off. Uriah Sisk for the Blue Jays taking on Elliott Carter of the Mustang Broncos. Sisk takes a long shot, and now Morris on top, looking like he knows what he wants to do out of this front headlock. Going to attack legs, hooking this arm, going to try for the snake. They roll through, and Sisk now comes up with a high C on the outside, trying to cut the corner as Elliott Sisk runs that cross face, trying to hustle around behind. Elliott's got to try to grab that ankle as he's got it now. That's going to make it hard for Sisk to move if he catches that ankle. Sisk trying to hold on, but Carter able to get behind and picks up the three-point takedown. As this matchup kicks off with a bang. Under a minute to go. Already 3 points on the board. And now Sisk trying to work to his base. As Elliott now has got a half on the far side. Sisk is posturing out, but Carter had to abandon, gets loose. Sisk is almost away, but they get out of bounds. Wow, we're starting off with a lot more fire tonight as this duel's getting fun right out of the gate. These boys are wrestling hard. Not much for a whistle move from either wrestler here. As Sisk now has his arm caught up. Looks like he got it back. He's getting wrist control, trying to base up. Elliott Carter stays behind those arms. He's running the spiral well. That's keeping Sisk from being able to base up well. It's hard to stand up with that pressure. Sisk now's got wrist control. Carter goes back for the half. Now he's got the far wrist caught. Sisk trying to work to his feet now. There's a cradle attempt. He's got it locked up. Carter's got the cradle locked up. Looks like Sisk broke the hands. And now they go back out of bounds. Holy cow. 28 seconds left in the first period. And folks, there's been a lot going on here from both of these wrestlers. 28 seconds to go. We're back to action. Carter able to bar the arm. He's caught the wrist now. He's got Sisk broke down. He's kind of got a modified chicken wing here. Looks like he's caught the wrist. Not sure what he wants to do with it. He's going between the legs. If he catches the arm underneath, he'll go for a tilt. And Sisk able to break that grip and belly out. We're down under 5 seconds now. Sisk on the edge, on the whistle. Nearly gets an escape, but Carter able to catch the double leg, and he dumps him back. No points there for Sisk, and we end that first period 3-0. The choice went to Guthrie. They are the even matches tonight. They defer, and that choice will go to Elliott Carter, a Mustang. He's going to go down, and we go back to action here in the second period. Uriah Sisk on top of Elliott Carter. And Sisk pushing hard here as Carter tries to get to his feet. He does briefly, and then he goes back to the ground. And Uriah Sisk trying to climb back up those legs so he doesn't get hit for stalling. And he's trying to do that without locking his hands. And holy cow, Carter trying to get away. He's being very shifty, very rolly, trying to get out. Not quite able to in that first 30 seconds. And now we get out of bounds and we're getting reset. Uriah Sisk of the Blue Jays back on top. Elliott Carter of Mustang on bottom. Going to get a quick caution here by referee Mitch Brown. Make sure these wrestlers get set fairly before they kick back off. And now Elliott back. He's basing up. He's going quad pod. He keeps posting that outside leg, and he's able to get up, but just Uriah Sisk just breaks him back down. Sisk now too high. He's too high. He's got his arm caught underneath there. Elliott's able to swim out. He caught that forearm, and he swims out the back for a 2-point reversal. And that's going to put Elliott Carter up 5-0. As he goes to work on top, Sisk trying to get to his base. As Carter, heavy crossface on the top side, now trying for that cradle. We saw him attempt the cradle earlier in the first period. Now he's got the crossface to that far arm. That makes this a little bit more effective. Hard to defend when your arm is caught, but looks like Sisk was able to do so. He's got wrist control now. Trying to trick his way out, but he's going to have to get to his base here as Elliott Carter is 30 seconds away from having this ride. Runs a half now. Running that half. Sisk has got to post that leg. He's not able to. Now he's able to get to his base somehow. Dives back in on a shot. He really just needs to back out and get one. He's got to back out and get one, but he's trying to get a reversal here as they get to the edge. Elliott Carter be wise to just circle out of bounds. Uriah Sisk was loose enough to get out, instead went back and attacked. Sometimes it's just smarter to get your one there. As we got 8 seconds left to go in the second period, Uriah Sisk of the Blue Jays is trailing Elliott Carter, a Mustang, 0-5. Looks like we're going to finish the second period here, as the Blue Jays coaching staff is now going to have a question to answer: where to put Uriah Sisk. What's going to give him the best chance to win? So Guthrie coaches choose to put him down. As we're back to action in the third period, 2-minute periods. Uriah Sisk is going to have 2 minutes to make something happen. He's going to have to get away. He's going to have to get back on top and pick up some kind of a near fall if he wants back in this match. As Elliott Carter has had his hands full, but has also done a good job of scoring in some of these transitions. He's got a takedown, and he's also got a reversal. And now Coach Will Delk has told his athlete to go neutral. That's going to give Uriah Sisk. It's going to give him a chance here. Gave him a point as an escape. And now they're wrestling. He catches the ankle. He's going to try to cut the corner and get behind. Just to hustle down, go behind. Once he catches that foot, it makes it hard for Sisk to move. Sisk has got to get his ankle back and get his leg straight and start trying to attack here. He's got his ankle back. And Carter's still circling. Sisk still fighting. Now the ankle's caught again. And see how it bellies him out and it makes it hard for Sisk to move. He's stepping over here. Sisk still has the inside leg, and that's 3 points. And I think Coach Delk's plan here is to try to get bonus. The takedowns are worth so much. That's going to put him up 7 points. And I bet he ends up cutting him one more time and trying for one more takedown. They're only up 7 points. That's only going to be good for 3 team points. But I figure Will Delk's going to try to have him go back to neutral, because if he can get one more takedown, they'll be winning by 10, and that'll be good for 14 points. So they're going to cut him, and that's going to give Uriah Sisk a point. And then there's 3 more points, and that worked out good for Mustang, as they are now up 9 points. Now they're up 8 points, so it's still a major decision, and there's 3 more points. And so now that's going to put up a bonus with short time. Elliott Carter is going to win this match 14-3, and that's going to be 14 points awarded to the Mustang Broncos. And that's going to bring this duel a little bit closer. Guthrie still in the lead, up 6-4, as we go into the 120-pound weight class, where Guthrie's Caden Herendeen is going to be taking on Jace Reed.
And for Mustang, let's welcome our returning state qualifier.
This ought to be a fun one, folks. I was hoping this is how it would end up. Caden Herendeen, currently ranked number 1 in the state in 5A, 2-time defending state champion. Going to be going for his 3rd this season. Going to be taking on last year's state qualifier in 6A, number 6 ranked Jace Reed. Both of these cats can wrestle, and this could be the best match of the night. I'm excited for this one. I was hoping Coach Delk would wrestle this, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Hooking up 2 of the best wrestlers in the state. It's going to be a fun one as they work on their head ties. Herendeen with a snap down, tried to go behind, but Reese caught the elbow. Man, that Caden Herendeen's so quick with these fakes. There's a shot by Reed. Herendeen now with elbow control on the outside. Look for him to shuck and go if he can. There it is, shuck and go. Catches the high C, cuts to the double on the other side. Whizzer here by Jace Reed is slowing Herendeen down. Herendeen trying to step over. He's caught the leg. He's going to have to work up from there and get his arm back. Reed's got that whizzer so tight, so high. Herendeen needed to get his arm down. Now Herendeen tries the underhook from that whizzer. Now he catches the ankle. He's got the ankle. Can he get it? Transitions back around, catches the duck on the far side for 3-point takedown for Caden Herendeen. What a transition that was. Folks, I can't talk as fast as they can wrestle, but that's what makes this so fun. A lot of good things going on by both guys. Reed finds himself down 3-0. 56 seconds left to go in the first. Caden Herendeen goes on top, and we are back to action here in what ought to be a fun matchup, has been so far. Reed now trying to get hand control. Herendeen out to the side with that little head lever. Reed trying to peel the hand, gets the hand off, gets one escape, and they are back to action on their feet. Herendeen up 3-1. Reed now takes a shot, gets the leg. Herendeen able to get his hip down. Another fast fake by Herendeen. Reed, though, doing a good job blocking with his head. Makes it hard for Herendeen to shoot through. He's not going to want to shoot through that. There's a short carry attempt by Caden Herendeen. Tries to dump that. Reed able to keep his hips square with 15 seconds to go. Herendeen on in on another high C, transitions to a double. He's going to go big here, gets the dump, gets the 3-point takedown. Same takedown he got earlier. High C transitions to a double. Caden Herendeen so explosive and so powerful in those transition. Really was wondering at the beginning of this season, could Caden Herendeen fill out the weight of 119 pounds? Clearly has the speed that he brought with him from 112 pounds, but the power and the strength has not been a factor, as you can see here. It's going to be Guthrie's choice in the second period. Caden Herendeen chooses to go neutral, and he's going to get back to work here. Jace Reed's going to have to answer back if he wants to stay in this match. Again, with these three-point takedowns, points can be scored fast. Major decisions happen a lot faster. Sooner Tech falls. There's a double-legged tip. Big-time double by Jace Reed. Shoots in straight to the hips of Caden Herendeen, who was able to keep his hips square and keep them back. Reed was not able to come up with anything, and they got to go back to their feet here neutral. Reed, though, still firing, still coming in. Caden able to block with his head on that one. Reed not able to take a full shot. Herendeen then on the other side, he hits a high C knee pull to an outside single on the other side. He was in here earlier. Reed was able to keep the whizzer. This time Herendeen's whizzer's out, goes through for the trip. Still no points yet. He's nearly got it, but he's on the edge here. Makes it harder. He's trying to keep his feet in bounds. He's got to keep his feet in bounds and not give up. He doesn't want a stalemate here. Herendeen wants to get this. Reed, though, to his credit, doing a great job. Herendeen's got to pull him down. That's 3 points awarded by referee Mitch Brown. That's going to be a third takedown for Caden Herendeen. And that's going to put him up 9-1 as they go out of bounds. Jace Reed, agile. You can see why he's ranked number 6 in the state. This kid can wrestle as well defensively, doing a great job with these whizzers, making it hard for Herendeen to get these takedowns. But Herendeen right now just a force to be reckoned with. With a very powerful offense on his feet with a minute. Well, we're under 45 seconds to go now in the second. Reed pops right up to his feet, gets hand control. Gets right out. Reed in on a high C of his own. Herendeen now tries to transition to it. Reed answers right back with a takedown. That's going to be 3 points for Jace Reed. That's going to bring him up 5-9 as he answers right back. Folks, this match is as exciting as I was hoping it would be. Two stellar athletes out here on the mat. As Caden Herendeen now finds himself on bottom. Reed now with a half. Trying to get to work here and seeing what he can do from top position. He's had his hands full on his feet, but he's also done a good job answering back. And now Caden Herendeen trying to get hand control as he comes to his feet. Reed trying to get him out of bounds. Herendeen able to keep his toe in and pick up a big-time escape at the whistle. Both guys doing a good job wrestling till the end. And Caden Herendeen picks up another one. It's going to be 10-5. Reed's going to go bottom in the third period. He's had good luck down here. Getting escapes. He got away in the second. Turned around, got himself a takedown. He does that here. He'll be back in this match. There's the escape. Herendeen was slow to get back to the center. And so we'll see if that's because he's tired or if he was just trying to gather his thoughts. But Reed does not quit firing. And the referee's going to have to stop this match as the score clock was not able to keep up with this fast pace. They got to get the clock right before we can start this third period. They're going to call it 15 seconds off the clock. Minute 45 to go in the third. Jace Reed trying to make a match out of this. He's been firing on all cylinders. Caden Herendeen's just been a handful so far. As Reed now is going to have to come back and get himself a takedown and a turn, maybe something to his, maybe a feet to back or maybe a couple of takedowns. He did have the most recent takedown. As he's firing here. Herendeen's going to be careful. He's going to get warned for stalling. Referee verbally warned him there, said he's got to circle in. If Reed's able to shoot him out of bounds, I would not be surprised to see a stall call here. But Herendeen blocking well with his head, keeping Reed from being able to shoot underneath. There's another shot by Reed. Herendeen in on an outside knee pull here. High C to an outside knee pull. Third time he's been here. He finished the last one he got. But Herendeen really needs to start working up. He does not need to get a stalemate here. He needs to get the two. And Reed is more than happy to get a stalemate if he can. Caden now is going to have to work to pull that foot back in bounds because Reed is far enough out of bounds that he can get out if Caden tries to jump for that back leg. Herendeen's going to have to keep pulling him in bounds and work himself to his feet. He's got the far leg, but he doesn't have control of it. Reed wrestling so well on the edge and was able to get a stalemate, and no points awarded. Jace Reed crafty out here, doing a good job, and Caden Herendeen's got his hands full with number 6 ranked. Jace Reed. Reed now in on takes another shot. as he's pushing Caden Herendeen back. Herendeen really just needs to get one more shot to seal the deal, but he doesn't have to do anything here because he is in the lead. He's up 10-6, but if he gets a takedown, he could put his team in bonus territory, and that's what coaches would like to see. But under 10 seconds to go, I don't think he's going to take a risk. Reed really's got to go for something big here. No points are going to happen as we end this period. What a fun match at 120 pounds. Jace Reed of the Mustang Broncos gives Caden Herendeen a great matchup. Herendeen, though, to his effort, shows why he is one of the, if not the best wrestlers at 120 pounds in the state of Oklahoma. What a fun matchup at 120 pounds. We're going to move on to 126 pounds, where the Blue Jays' Aiden Smith is going to take on the Broncos' Van Smith. So Smith versus Smith at 126 pounds.
And let's welcome to the mat, returning All-American Van.
And Van Smith is going to be a handful for Aiden, as Van Smith last year was the runner-up at the 6A state tournament. And then he spent his sole summer wrestling as he went to Fargo and became an All-American in freestyle. That means he's one of the best wrestlers in the United States in his age division. And you're seeing why now. He gets a quick takedown, and he works on what was going to be a second one there. There's an escape for Aiden Smith. 3-1's the score here. That underhook, he's working hard. And I believe he was a Fargo All-American in Greco. So probably more than happy to use this. Big time inside fireman's carry, or short carry, I guess is how he finished that. He's going to come up behind Aiden Smith here and pick up 3 more for the takedown. That's going to put him up 6-1. Looks like he's going to go to work on top here. Aiden Smith, to his credit, this kid will wrestle you as long as there is time on the clock, or as long as the referee allows. Aiden Smith's going to be out there fighting, trying to get better. That is what he does. And this youngster has a big upside for the Blue Jays. But right now, battling one of the best kids in the state, and obviously one of the best kids in the country. Former near fall were just given. That puts Van Smith up 10-1. And now Van Smith going to work on top. He's got a leg in, a deep leg. And now he's working for a half. Aiden's got his foot caught, which is going to make it hard for Van to score. Aiden does not want to dig his arm in there and get it too deep. But now he's going to try to Gazzoni out of that. That leg's going to be pretty powerful. And now he's got his other arm caught on the far side. You can see it in the camera here. He's digging that arm out. He's going to try to put it over his head. If he can, he'll tilt him back, but a little bit of a tough position on that inside knee that Van had caught inside. Referee probably was done seeing that go any further. Went ahead and called a stalemate, so nobody got hurt. Nothing was going on anyway. It's going to give Aiden Smith a fresh start from the bottom. Van's going to go back to work on top. As these guys finish out this first period, no points awarded there. We're going to start the second period here. Aiden Smith with a big lift here, trying to put Van back down. Van Smith to his feet, working here, trying to get a switch reversal. Nothing yet. Aiden Smith drops to the leg as Van comes to his feet. And now Aiden's trying to stay down on that leg. In theory, he's got to work up. And Van somehow able to kick out that heel, get a reversal for 2 more points, and now catch Aiden Smith on his back. Van Smith showing why he is ranked number 2 in the state. This kid is a hammer, chain wrestles, put things together nicely. Aiden Smith up against it tonight. Van Smith with a nice showing, picks up 6 more points for his Mustang Broncos. Moving up to 132 pounds, Guthrie's Matt Mahalik is going to be taking on Trustin Douglas. of the Broncos. This ought to be another good matchup, folks. Broncos just got the lead over the Blue Jays, 10-9 now. Broncos in the lead barely. It's been a back and forth duel, been pretty fun. And now Guthrie's number 8 ranked Matt Mahalik is going to take on Mustang's number 5, Trustin Douglas. Trustin was a 6A state qualifier last season, and Matt Mahalik just fell short in 5A of qualifying. So this will be a 6A qualifier versus a nearly 5A state qualifier. Both these cats are going to be pretty evenly matched, I would think, at least on paper, so this ought to be fun. There's an outside trip to an ankle pick. Nice little transition there by Trustin Douglas. As Matt Mahalik for the Blue Jays gets in on a single leg of his own. He's out the back. It's a low level. He's real good at catching these ankles, but now trying to finish. Trustin Douglas doing a good job catching the crotch lift and staying tight. Mahalik's got to step over that foot. He's got to hook it deep all the way into his knee, but his back foot is caught. But if he can hook that, he had that foot caught. Somehow Trustin Douglas able to spin the corner and pick up the 3 points here. Man, Matt Mahalik had him dead to rights. Trustin Douglas looked like he knew exactly how to defend that, and he did. Now he's rolling through for a spladle. He catches a spladle from there. Nicely done. It was really a bar arm tilt, I think, more so, but it looked like a spladle. Had a leg in and got a bar arm tilt through the legs. That gets him 2 more, and now he goes back to work on top as he picks up near fall again. And that's 4 more points, racking up the score in a hurry. That's going to put Trustin Douglas up 9-0. And Matt Mahalik gets turked a second time, as he has no answer yet for Trustin Douglas' legs. Trustin picked up more near fall. And now he's looking for the pin. This is not looking good for Matt Mahalik. Trustin's got that inside arm. If he walks it towards his head, Mahalik's shoulder blade's going to stick out, and he's going to get pinned. That's exactly what happened there. And really a lopsided match there, as Trustin Douglas got on top and just went to work, not giving Matt Mahalik much of a chance to get his offense going. And so we're going to pick up, well, Mustang picks up 6 more points and puts them in even a bigger lead. They're up 16-9 now over the Blue Jays as we move to 138 pounds, as Thomas Gyrus for the Blue Jays is going to be taking on Hank Bullard of the Broncos. Thomas Gyrus, the younger brother of Matt Mahalik, who just competed. Started wrestling for the Blue Jays several weeks ago. Comes to us from a jiu-jitsu background like his brother did. They pick up wrestling quick, grappling, transitions over well. And the Blue Jays are going to need something big out of Thomas here. And Hank Bullard takes a double leg to the back. That's feet to back. That's going to be 7 points in one move for the Broncos, as Hank Bullard going to work here tight, has that Turk on the inside. And that's going to be a big lead for Hank Bullard to start off this match. The first 10 seconds gets a double leg to near fall. Now Thomas Gyrus battling with this half Nelson as Hank Bullard cranks that over tight. And man, Thomas Gyrus in trouble here from bottom as these Mustang Broncos really putting it on hard here, running legs, running tilts, and running halves. These last 2 boys have looked tough as nails, and look at this here. Thomas Gyrus finds himself in trouble, somehow gets off his back in what was a dead to rights pin. Thomas Gyrus able to get back not only to his base, now he's getting quad pod working back towards his feet. He's down 11-0, but he's still in this. Now both boots get put in. Going to be a lot of leverage here on his lower back with both legs in as he gets bellied back out. And now Bullard looking for the tilt with 20 seconds left to go. A 4-point near fall would end in a tech fall as Thomas Gyrus trying to get off bottom as Bullard really tries for this half on top. And Thomas Gyrus stuck underneath in a very tough first period. It was all Hank Bullard there with just a takedown and near fall back and forth. Aggressive out of the gate was Hank Bullard. And we're going to go neutral here in the second period. Thomas Gyrus finds himself down 0-11 as Hank Bullard out to a commanding lead. And Gyrus is going to have to make something happen, something big if he wants to get back in this match. Heavy on the collar ties here, banging the head hard. He's still wrestling, but underneath for another double A comes Hank Bullard. Same takedown he got last time, just not to the back this time. That's going to be a 3-point takedown. He's up 14-0. Hank Bullard scores again, and he will most likely get a tech fall. He's running the half over now. Tech fall is going to be worth 5. A pin is going to be worth 6. He's got this locked up tight. It's a tight half. Not looking good here for Thomas Gyrus. If he gets off his back, he will save his team a point. That's not going to happen. Hank Bullard picks up 6 more for the Broncos. And now the Mustang Broncos out 22-9 over the Blue Jays as this 6A team showing why they are ranked number 10 in 5A. I'm sorry, in 6A. We're going to move up to 144 pounds, where Aiden Harden of the Blue Jays is going to be taking on number 9 ranked James Anderson. And James Anderson got himself into the top 10 rankings for the Broncos based on his season last year. Wrestles like a veteran for sure. Aiden Harden, freshman for the Blue Jays. Had an exciting match against Choctaw on Thursday night. Caught himself down by a bunch of points, but had a big reversal. Nearly got the upperclassman on his back. Off to a slow start here, but James Anderson with 2 takedowns early. Currently up 6-1. Now he's got this front bar arm. Tried to roll it over. Aiden rolls through. Now he's trying to get that inside leg in a switch position. But Anderson able to stay behind. Now he's got a bar arm chicken wing. Look for him to run that out front if he can get it, but Aiden got his arm back. He's got the bar arm. No, he's still got the chicken wing. He's still got the chicken wing on the right side. Now he's going for the chicken wing on the left. Looks like he's going to try to get this bar arm tilt to the side while holding that chicken wing, but Aiden flexible. And Aiden Wiry trying to stay out of danger, but now this chicken wing's getting run to the front. And near fall happening. Aiden Harden, though, tough to get back to his belly here. Good job by Harden. Only gave up, looks like 3 points for the near fall. Did a good job fighting there. We've been talking about it all year. The score is being run up now, though, quite a bit. And it's going to be 10-1. Looks like 9-1. Aiden with a nice whistle move. Tried to switch. Tried that stand and switch, but his arm got caught. James Anderson had done a bar arm chop and caught his arm. Aiden wasn't able to spin around. Now that bar arm's getting pulled into a hammerlock, and that hammerlock is getting tight. James Anderson probably going to try to reach up front, go underneath the front arm, but now he's got a snake and a half. This is super tight, tough to get off. He's got the legs caught. This grapevine's going to make it hard to bridge. Aiden Harden finds himself stuck underneath James Anderson, and the Broncos are going to pick up 6 more points for yet another bonus win for Mustang. Moving up to 150 pounds. Colton Stevens is going to come out in his second outing since football. He's going to get pinned against Jared Peterson of the Mustang Broncos. Colton Stevens was on the sidelines of the football game Saturday night as the Blue Jays made the 5A finals. And he stepped on the mat. He went to practice Monday, wrestled on Thursday, got to practice his second time on Wednesday, and now he's back out to action on Thursday. 2 practices and already wrestling his second match. And he's in a scramble here. He's got a good leg shot. He's underneath now, peeking out the back. We saw Mustang have success in this position, oddly enough, earlier as he's catching the far ankle. He's hipping over. Thomas Peterson savvy there. Clearly something Mustang has worked on is that position. We've seen Mustang score twice out of that peek out position. As Colton Stevens did a good job getting that low ankle and coming out back, just wasn't able to finish. And now he finds himself on bottom, down 3-0 to Jarrett Peterson. As we are down now under a minute in the first period. Colton Stevens now trying to work to his base. Jarrett's got his inside arm caught. The right arm is caught. Now he's got a leg in. He's lacing the toe. He's deep here on a lace toe. Colton could hip him down, but now Jarrett's trying to get his other leg in, trying to dig the second leg in. Colton trying to step over. He isolates the one. He's doing it right on bottom. He's got his legs out technically, but Jarrett able to get him back in. Colton's doing a good job keeping his knees down and not allowing those legs to come back in. That keeps the pressure off of him. But Jarrett now able to get the right leg in and going for a tilt here. He's just pulling him back over, kind of a leg tilt. He's picking up near fall. Not sure how many he got. Looks like 3 near fall. The way those near fall works is that the referee counts to 2. If he swipes twice, that's 2 points. If he swipes 3 times, that's 3 points. And if he swipes the 4th time, that's 4 points. So the referee was able to get to 3. Once the back gets to 45 degrees, if he's on his side, that's 90. He gets even closer to his back, that's 45 degrees. If you get to 45 degrees, that's when the swipes start. And so Peterson was able to get Colton to that point and pick up 3 near fall. Now he's going back to work on this heavy bar arm. He was able to pull it out in the first and get that thing up on his back for the hammer lock. Looks like, again, this is what Mustang does from the top position. They run legs well, and they run these bar arms tough. Choice is going to go to Jarrett Peterson. Now the Broncos, he's going to go bottom. Colton Stevens of the Blue Jays on top, and we are back to action in the second period. Peterson goes for the quad pod. As Stevens now for the bar arm chop has got him broke down off of his base. Now he's got him on his belly. This is good for Stevens. This is where he wants to be. He had him broke down, and you saw him just slide off the hips, and that allowed Jarrett to pick his hips back up. Colton's got to push him down and stay on those hips and keep him tight. But he's staying behind the arms. He's running a nice spiral here, doing a good job floating. But Jarrett able to float and get back to his feet, and now he's peeling hands. He's going to turn and face and get the 1-point escape. And we're going to go back to work on our feet here. Pass by attempt, side headlock. And Jarrett Peterson picks up 2 more points. Look for him to roll through this if he can. And if he can't, he can push to the right. He can push to the left. It looks like he's trying to roll through this. Looks like he's just going to let the leg go and get back on top. In control, that's going to be 3 more points for Jarrett Peterson. As he gets to work back on top, Colton's got to get his arms free, but really he's got to get his hips up. And when he does, Peterson puts those legs in. So Colton's kind of, you can tell he's kind of hesitant to pick those hips up until Peterson gets off to the side, and that's wise on his part, because right now normally you'd want to be basing up here, but if he goes to pick his hips up, Peterson's going to put a leg in. And so he's got to wait for Peterson to get off to the side before he can get his hips up. And now Peterson with that cross-face far arm. Stevens is being wise here. He's wrestling smart, but he's just kind of stuck in the mud as Peterson's wrestling tough on top. They go out of bounds, and we're going to reset here in the center of the mat as Jarrett Peterson of the Mustang Broncos is leading 10-0 over Colton Stevens. Peterson goes back on top. Colton on the whistle, gets to quad pod. Knee slide, trying to bump up here, goes back to his base. He's in a good spot here. Peterson running a tough spiral ride, bumps to a hip, able to step over. About got the leg in, but Colton did a good job blocking the leg. Now he finds himself on bottom in base, but now he's strung out down to his belly. It looks like Colton Peterson's going to finish the second period on top. As we run down the clock and work back into the third period. Choice is going to be Guthrie's. Colton Stevens chooses neutral, where he nearly finished a takedown in the first. But ultimately, Jarrett Peterson was able to scramble out. Second period, Jarrett Peterson got just a pass by to a side headlock, was able to get a second takedown. Really, Colton's had his best luck from that position. Currently is trailing 10-0. He drops into this leg now. Look for Jarrett to clamp that head and try to get another side headlock. Colton, though, slides out the side. Jarrett right back to that side headlock. And he picks up 3 more for the takedown. Look for him to roll through. I can see him stretching him out. He's trying to stretch out and roll. If Colton pushes too hard, he's going to get rolled. So he's kind of got to just sit there and just wait for something to happen. And Jarrett, I think, was hoping he'd feel that push, but he didn't. So he kicks his leg out and gets back on top. And Colton Stevens now down 13-0 as Jarrett Peterson goes back to work on top. And it looks like Coach Will Delk is telling Peterson to cut him as they want bonus. They're going to want bonus because that's what you do in duels. If you're a coach, you want to score as many points as you can in case things get funky later on in the lineup. They're only about halfway through, so Delk's going to need as many team points as he can get. So they're going to try to get another takedown. But don't forget Colton Stevens' game here. He's been taken down by that side headlock twice. If he can avoid that, get back in on another deep shot, he can take this bonus win away. And although it's a long way from a win, he can at least save his team some points. He's trying to get this snake right now. He's going to try to go ahead and finish. Hats off to Colton Stevens for looking big. Really here he just needs to keep working on wrestling here and trying to get better. We're down under 20 seconds. And Peterson's going to have to get a couple of takedowns if he wants to, or feet to back, I guess, if he wants to pick up that bonus for his team. He's going to get 4, but if he gets, coaches are really wanting him to get that tech fall, but he's not going to get it. He's going to win this match 13-1. That's going to be 4 points for, it's going to be 4 points, team points for the Mustang Broncos, as that puts them out in front 28-9. And we're going to move on to 158 pounds. 157 pounds. Guthrie's going to roll out Trevor Graves and try his hand against Hudson Graham for the Mustang Broncos. Starting back to action here. Trevor Graves of the Guthrie Bluejays taking on Hudson Graham of the Mustang Broncos. Hudson on a big high C and a lift. And Trevor somehow remaining to stay going. But Green did a good job staying in control there. Trevor pretty crafty in a defensive position. We've seen him do some rolls. He's got really heavy hips. Just wasn't quite able to make anything happen there. Hudson Graham did a good job of getting Trevor's feet off the ground. Hard to scramble when your feet aren't on the ground. It's really the defense to it. And so he picked him up, got control of those feet, and when he put him back down, he kept Trevor's feet off the ground. So Trevor, even though he was holding on, wasn't able to really push or force any roll-throughs. And that allowed Hudson to get that 2-point takedowns. Trevor Graves back to his feet 3 times now. And Graham, again, big lift. Sets him back down. Trevor Graves this time rolls through. You see, I was talking about him being crafty. He does a good job rolling through on these. Wasn't able to score there, but got to his feet 3 times, just back up and down, up and down, up and down, forcing Hudson Green to wrestle there. But now he got trapped on bottom, and now Hudson Green able to do a half to a turn. He's got Trevor Graves in a tough spot here as Hudson Graham picks up a bunch of near fall, but Trevor Graves has got 35 seconds to get off his back. This is a long time to fight from your back with another man on top of you trying to push you down. You're at a huge disadvantage. Trevor fighting hard here, and Hudson Graham making slight adjustments, just slight adjustments. He's got that chin now, trying to make adjustments to get the fall, but Trevor Graves, great job fighting off his back. But again, he reaches for the hand on that half, and it really sets him up for more near fall. Able to get out of this one, and he's going to get out of the first period, but trailing 7-0 behind Hudson Graham of the Mustang Broncos. Choice is going to go to Mustang. They defer, and we're going back to the Blue Jays. They're going to put Trevor Graves on bottom. And we're going to be back to action here in the second period, where Hudson Graham leads Trevor Graves 7-0. He's got the ankle right now. He's going back to that half. Had a lot of success with that half in the first period. Trevor's got to get back to his feet. Had a lot of success getting there. But once he gets belly down, now Hudson Graham is able to just go to work on top. Trevor's got to quit worrying about these hands, and he's got to get to his feet. Again, he's fighting hands, and it's causing that to go to his back. And Hudson Graham with another half, 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Tough spot for Trevor Graves. And Hudson Graham picks up 6 more points for his team, as now the Mustang Broncos get out in a big lead against the Blue Jays, 38-9. Guthrie really going to need some big-time points from the big side of their lineup. Moving up to 165 pounds, number 9 ranked Clayton Carey is going to be taking on Mustangs Carlos Castillo. And the Blue Jays, if they're going to get back in this, are going to need some big bonus wins. And if you need bonus, Clayton Carey is a good one. Just a sophomore for the Blue Jays, but he's a bonus kid machine, a tough kid. Had a great showing at the Enid tournament this past weekend. Had some big wins against some tough opponents. And this young kid can wrestle. He can also get bonus. And Carlos Castillo, I believe, for the Mustang Broncos, will have something to say about that. Clayton Carey in on a high C as they go out of bounds. 1 minute and 32 seconds left to go. As the action continues, there's another high C for Clayton Carey. Castillo able to fend that one off. And now Carey for the underhook. He's getting back to work here. Heavy inside tie. He's got the elbow. He likes to pass that elbow sometimes, and he can. Clears it off. Goes back to an inside tie and wrist control. Tries for the long high C, which gets the stall call. Referee felt Castillo had not done anything offensively. It's been all Clayton Carey, so he warns him for stalling. Basically just a token to ask him to be a little more offensive. Outside single attempt here by Carey. Man, heavy hips. Heavy hips by Carlos Castillo as Carey tries to transition to a double. And now he gets back in on a double as they go out of bounds. Castillo must have tons of power in those legs. Carey's been in on several shots, not able to finish. Snags the ankle, catches the low level on the whistle, and gets 3 points for the takedown with 30 seconds to go in the first period. Clayton Carey now back to work on top. Going to do a roll through tilt. He caught the arm. He only got a 1 count. Still just a 1 count, no near fall. He's got the chicken wing and the far arm. He's got this locked up. And look for him to try to get this tilt. He's got short time, so he's going to force it. There's the counts he's looking for. He's got the 4-point near fall. Now he's trying to walk back over top. Clayton Carey going for the fall here. Castillo's in a lot of trouble. And as they run out of time, Clayton Carey picks up 4 for the near fall. That's going to put him up 7-0. And boy, the Guthrie Blue Jays needed that fall. And Carey just ran out of time. Carlos Castillo powers through that and keeps the fall from happening. Back to work here on top is Clayton Carey. Trying for the cradle now. Castillo back to his feet. He's nearly out if he can peel that hand. Not able to. Clayton Carey, though, sticks with the chicken wing. He's really been trying to pull that back. He's high on the front trying to pull that chicken wing back. Castillo not spinning out trying to do anything with it, just trying to survive down there. And Carey now going to work on top. He's kind of got a leg in. He's got a leg in all the way now. Going to try this Turk. He's got the toe lace. That's not good. He's falling off the hip now. Doesn't have any pressure when he's got that toe hook. There's no pressure on the bottom guy. So Castillo able to stay on his base here and just be hard to deal with. Carey's leg is, see how his leg is laced and it's all the way through the toe. All of his weight's on his knee's on the mat. There's no pressure on the top guy. He's got to climb up into the saddle if he wants to put any pressure on with that leg. Castillo able to get out of bounds. Clayton Carey up 9-0. He's already got a bonus as far as 4 points for his team. But coaches are going to want to get him to get 6. And if he can't get 6, they're going to want him to get 5. And he's going to need about, there's a roll through tilt for more near fall. He's getting closer to the tech fall now. It's going to be 4 more points. That's going to put him up 13-0 once the points are awarded. And now Clayton's carry, if he scores with another near fall, it'll be a tech fall. But coaches are going to want the pin because every point matters. He's got the cradle now. He's going to try to lock this up and get the pin. Coaches are going to want the pin. Either way, it's going to be a tech fall or a pin, but he gets the opportunity to pin here if he can. There's 25 seconds. That's a lot of time. Castillo's got to fight here if he wants to get off his back. This is tight. Castillo, though, showing off his strength. He fends off the takedowns, but not able to get off his back here. And a big win for Clayton Carey. A much-needed bonus win for his Guthrie Bluejays. That's going to be 6 more points for Guthrie as they start to climb in on the Broncos. Down 15-38. They've got to have some big things happen here. And Guthrie's Bryson Hall is going to get the call. Team leader, team captain, number 1. At the Eden tournament last week, number 3 ranked in 5A. And the Blue Jays are going to be looking for big points from him as he takes on Keegan Tavon for the Broncos. Bryson's getting after it, aggressive from the get-go. As Keegan Tavon stuck in an underhook here. Now Bryson Hall with the snake. He gets the underhook in the head. He throws it, going for 6 early. Bryson Hall understands the importance of this. But Keegan Hall able to get off bottom there, get his arm out. Flexible as he is, was able to get out of that pin hold and trying to hang on to some team points as Bryson Hall goes to work on top. And Keegan Tavon balling up down here on bottom, trying to keep Bryson Hall off, and Bryson Hall's got a crossface. He's working for the Turk here. He's got a leg in. Trying for the Turk. He's pushing the elbow, trying to catch it. He's pushing the elbow with his right arm, trying to catch it with his left. If he can catch it with his left, he can start pulling this Turk over. Basically gets the elbow on the other side of the shoulder once that shoulder can break over. Looks like that's where Bryson's. He's close to that right now. He's got to keep walking. He's got to keep walking opposite direction. And Keegan able to peel that hand off and get back to his base. Nicely done. We've got a stoppage. Not sure why. Maybe we've got, not sure what the stoppage was for. Maybe just a potentially dangerous, maybe a stalemate. Not sure what that was, but we're going to get back to action here. Bryson Hall of the Blue Jays currently leading Keegan Tavon of the Broncos of Mustang. 45 seconds. Cranby roll for Tavon, and he gets out, gets himself a point, lets everyone know he's still in this match as he's trailing 7-1. And Bryson Hall gets back to action. He's under 20 seconds now in the first period. Look for him to try to score at the end if he can.
10 seconds.
Snap down, go behind. Bryson Hall picks up 3 more points for the takedown at the whistle. So good at that snap down, go behind. He fakes the high C. Tavon bites on it because he has to. Bryson smacks, or he snaps the head down and then just hustle behind. He catches that leg like a single, almost like a cradle, and able to pick up the last second takedown to put him up 10-1 as we start the second period. Hall chooses neutral, underhook, high C knee pull, dumps him down into crackdown, and picks up 3 more for the takedown. Now he's trying to tilt him over for near fall. Not really going to be able to control that. So now he's scooping in underneath on that Kansas ride. And he's going to elevate that foot. He's got that half on the far side. He's got the arm posted. This is not good for Tavon. Bryson Hall picks up the fall for the Blue Jays. 6 more points And that's going to catch them 21-38 as we move into the 190-pound weight class. Where the Blue Jays are going to wrestle Roston Usselton. And he's going to take on Kavion Moore for Mustang. Be interesting to see what the Blue Jays do here at 215 pounds as they are needing team points. They've got 3 wrestlers left in the arsenal and only 2 more weights. Roston Usselton now for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are going to need something big out of these upper weights, and Roston comes out quick with a snap down go behind as Kavion Moore finds himself on bottom bellied out. Roston with the chicken wing is going to quick work here. As I think the coaches have let these guys know that bonus matters so much in these last few matches. As they got down to a deficit there for a minute 38-16, and now slowly coming back. Roston with a half on the outside. He's got it rolled over. He's got this tight. That's a fall. Roston Usselton picks up 6 more points for the Blue Jays, and that's going to bump them up 27-38 as Mustang trying to hold on to this lead as we move into the 215-pound weight. The Blue Jays are going to walk out Wyatt Silvis, who's had 2 big pins for the Blue Jays so far this year at the weight. Wyatt, 190-pounder, has been bumping up to wrestle at 215. Trying to earn his points for his team. As Max Baca hits a early Russian tie. Try to pass by, didn't work. Look for him to step through and try to throw this. He's going to try to shovel that. Bit of a size discrepancy. Silvis weighed in at 193 today. And Max Baca every bit of 215. There's going to be a size discrepancy as he works his single leg and gets 3 points for the takedown early. He goes right to work on the bar arm and the hammerlock. This is what we have seen all day from Mustang. Now he's got this Air Force hooked up. If he catches that wrist, it's going to be trouble for Silvis. Silvis able to weasel out of it. He's got to get his arm back. As really a kryptonite to Guthrie Wrestling has been this bar arm series. These 6A schools really working these inside bar arms. And there it is again, Silvis caught with that bar arm. Now he's going to his back. Baca's got a tight half. Silvis doing a good job pushing that leg. And now Baca transitions to the other side. And now he's back. Silvis pushing the far leg again. Baca's having a hard time getting all his weight on top of Silvis because Silvis is pushing that far leg. And that keeps the hips heavy. Now Wyatt able to get back to his base. Does a good job. Somehow doesn't give up any near fall. Man, Baca really staying heavy on that arm. Getting that hammerlock and working for this half. And Silvis now finds himself on his back again. Baca's trying to stay parallel now. Silvis is pushing that hip. Baca getting out in this neck whip position, walking the hand out. This is a tough spot for Silvis. The bigger man on top with 20 seconds to go picks up the fall for the Broncos. And that's going to be 6 more points for Mustang as they go into the heavyweight matchup. 285 pounds. It looks like Tyler Powell is going to wrestle at heavyweight for the Blue Jays. And Stone Perkins. Stone Perkins is going to come out for the for the Broncos. In the final matchup of the night. Not sure what the weight was on Stone Perkins. Tyler Powell did weigh in at 215 pounds tonight. And the bigger man, Stone Perkins, comes out strong. And Tyler Powell has shown his craftiness all season. Every match he's wrestled has put his opponent in danger. But tonight, Perkins, look at this. Look at this. Tyler Powell, again, puts his opponent in danger. This is what T. Powell does. As Stone Perkins gets to pushing, and T. Powell ill-advised outside single, finds himself on bottom. But now look at this. There he goes with the Granby roll, picks up the reversal. Now Tyler Powell's on top. Doesn't get any near fall, but he hit that move on Tuesday night against Caden Stitt of Choctaw and hits it again tonight against Stone Perkins. And now Jaden Davenport wants to know why that was a takedown, and he wants to know why there was no near fall. Because that was a lot going on in a little amount of time. He's not going to let Mitch Brown get away with that without a conversation. But that score is going to remain. Stone Perkins on bottom from Mustang is up 3-2 over Tyler Powell of the Blue Jays. And we're back to action here as Stone Perkins stands up, gets to his feet, and now goes to work. He's got a snake. He's running this over. You can hear the crowd getting into this matchup. It's getting loud here inside of the Mustang Gymnasium as Stone Perkins has Tyler Powell dead to rights as he's working this heavy half, getting that hip on top. He picks up the fall. That's going to be 6 more for the Mustang Broncos, and that's going to finish up this duel. The Mustang Broncos victorious 50-27 over the Guthrie Bluejays as the number 10 6A Mustang Broncos defeat the number 7 ranked 5A Guthrie Bluejays in what was an exciting match tonight. A lot of good matchups and a lot of fun. Really, the story of that duel in the middle of that, the Broncos really came out to they got a big lead there in the middle with a lot of bonus wins. The Broncos just too much to handle from the top position. Really, bar arm to chicken wings, bar arms to tilts, and they ran a lot of legs, and just Guthrie Blue Jays didn't have much of an answer for that, so really the Broncos were able to just get out to a massive lead there. Blue Jays kept it interesting there in the top weights where we normally have quite a bit of success, and they started to climb back with some bonus of their own, starting really at 165 pounds, and they started to climb, but then the last 2 matches Guthrie needed the most, and the Broncos were able to stop the momentum and get back in front. What a fun duel this was tonight. Want to thank Mustang again for hosting and being such a generous host to us here. Always a good job, Will Delk and his Mustang Broncos. Really a tough team, did a great job, showed why they are ranked number 10 in 5A. I just real quick want to give a special shout out to my man Kellen Harden for running our score clock today. Did a great job for us. We called him up at the last minute, and he said, "I'll do it, coach." So he came in and did an awesome job. Lindsay Silvas over there on the camera, the most beautiful camera woman in the state of Oklahoma, possibly the world. She did a wonderful job giving you guys a live action here. I'm Sean Silvas, and trying to keep you guys entertained as well. Want to thank all of our friends at the Guthrie News page for helping us broadcast this event. Chris Evans at home, always working behind the scenes, getting all these graphics up and making us look good on the broadcast. Want to thank him too. Just again, hats off to our friends here in Mustang for being such good hosts. Want to give a special shout out to Seth Robbins and Terra Insurance Group. They have sponsored some bags for our wrestlers this season, and they stepped up at the last minute and said, "Hey, we want to help these guys out. What can we do?" And they decided to go all out and help us get some more gear for our guys. We really, really appreciate just their continued support for all Guthrie athletics. You always hear about Terra Insurance Group. Those guys are huge supporters of our Guthrie Blue Jays. We want to thank them for stepping up and helping out our wrestlers. So tonight's duel did not turn into Guthrie's favor, but Guthrie made a match of it for sure. I'm going to take a quick timeout and see if I can catch Coach. If I cannot, I'll just come back and do a recap. And if I can, we will do a quick interview with Coach Davenport. Give me just a few minutes here, and I will be back. Final score of the duel, Mustang Broncos 50 over the Guthrie Blue Jays 27, and we'll be back here shortly. All right, folks, I'm back here with you. Jaden Davenport taking his team down to the locker room, so I'm just going to finish things up here with this little post-fight show. Guthrie Bluejays fall short to the Mustang Broncos tonight, but it was a fun match up. We start off at 106. Joel Landry took on Peyton Morris, and Peyton Morris able to get out front. Joel Landry made a fun match of that, but ultimately Peyton Morris was just a little bit too much for him. 113 pounds. Uriah Sis took on Elliott Carter in what was a fun matchup, back and forth all night. Both of these guys, these first two matchups were actually really good outings for Joel and Uriah, both showing a lot of improvement in what they've been working on, and it was a fun one. But ultimately, Elliott Carter able to pick up another win for the Broncos. But 120 pounds for the Blue Jays, Caden Herendeen came out and showed why he was the number one wrestler in 5A, possibly in the state of Oklahoma. He really, guys, this was one of the matches I was most excited to see, and I know they had two wrestlers written down here, but I was very hopeful that Jace Reed of Mustang would come out and wrestle, and sure enough he did, and he came out and made this a match. 6A state qualifier, currently ranked number 6 in the state, and showed why. Caden came out and got a couple early takedowns, and then answered back was Jace Reed. He came back with a shot of his own, and really by the end of the match had slowed that pace down and had got back to work and made that a good one. But ultimately, Caden Herendeen picks up the win there. Aiden Smith comes out, tall order against Van Smith, last year state finalist. He was also a Fargo All-American last year. He's currently ranked number 2 in the state. This kid can wrestle, and he really got out strong, got out early, and ultimately got the pin against Aiden. But Aiden, to his credit, he's wrestled some hammers this year as a young wrestler for the Blue Jays. He's only getting better. He's seeing some of the best kids in the state, and he's wrestling them hard, and this is the only way to get better, is to see what the best is and then learn from that and try to become one of those guys as well. 132 pounds, Matt Mahalik, number 8 ranked in the state in 5A, takes on number 5 ranked Trustin Douglas. He was a state qualifier last year, and really the story of this match was double legs and legs. Trustin was able to hit 2 beautiful double legs, get on top, put legs in, and just went to work. And Matt Mahalik, to his credit, was effort was there, just did not have an answer for that top game. And those double legs, just that square stance Matt was in was just kind of a gift for double legs. And it looked like Trustin Douglas was a bad matchup for Matt Mahalik, because just double legs and legs on top was a lot. So Trustin Douglas able to pick up the fall and get the win. We moved on to 138 pounds. Thomas Gyrus, new wrestler for the Blue Jays and has wrestled well, but was up against it with Hank Bullard. Hank Bullard just a nice job just getting takedowns, getting in control, back and forth. Thomas fought off his back a few times and made it hard for Hank Bullard to finish that match, but ultimately he got him out of there at 144 pounds. The Blue Jays' Aiden Harden, freshman, was up against James Anderson, number 9 ranked in 6A. And another tall order, James Anderson, clearly a wrestling veteran. You're not ranked number 10 in the state in 6A because you're a newbie. But James did a good job here. But Aiden Harden, to his credit, freshman season, making varsity and really going out there and wrestling some of the better kids in the state. He's had several good matchups against underclassmen and looked phenomenal. And when he goes against these upperclassmen that are ranked, some of the state qualifiers and that, there's moments of success. He's showing good things, but there's just still a lot to work on. He's got a huge upside. This season's going to be great for that upside, as he's kind of getting baptized by fire, which is a good thing because he's out there wrestling. He's making things happen, and we're happy to see that. But ultimately, James Anderson was able to pick up the win there. 150 pounds. The Blue Jays brought out Colton Stevens, who had some success early, was able to get in on a deep shot, but ultimately Jarrett Peterson was able to just overcome and kind of overwhelm Colton, who has had 2 practices and now has just had his second match. So hopefully through Christmas, Colton will get those bearings back. We're expecting him to step in and varsity lineup and do some things for the Blue Jays. Colton's a good wrestler. He's a good kid, and he's going to have a lot of success this year as a sophomore, so we are excited to see him step up. But Jarrett Peterson picks up the win there. 157, Hudson Graham for the Broncos takes on Trevor Graves. Gets a couple big stocky, heavy 157-pounder, gets in on some big double legs, gets some big finishes, ultimately was able to put Trevor away early. 165 pounds, Clayton Carey for the Blue Jays, number 9 ranked in the state in 5A, goes against Carlos Castillo. And what was a much-needed momentum swing for the Blue Jays, the Broncos had really just kind of took some momentum and just ran with it. And then Clayton Carey was able to come out here and do what the Blue Jays needed and shut down that momentum and pick up a fall and pins Carlos Castillo at 175 pounds. Bryson Hall, senior team leader, number 3 ranked in the state, came out and did what he was supposed to do against Keegan Tavon. I was really hopeful that we would get to see Deegan Reyes wrestle tonight. I know he's not yet competed this year, I don't know if he's back. I'm not sure exactly the details on what's going on with him, but as a wrestling fan, I just like to see big-time good matchups, and that was going to be one. When you've got the number 3 kid in 5A wrestling the number 3 kid in 6A, that's a fun time, and we just weren't able to see that tonight, unfortunately, but Keegan Tavon came out, did what he could, but ultimately Bryson Hall puts him away with a fall. 190 pounds. Roston Usselton comes out for the Blue Jays, takes that momentum from Clayton and Bryson, and picks up a fall against Kavion Moore, and then 215 comes out, and the oversized Max Baca gets a hold of Wyatt Silvis. Silvis does a good job fighting off his back a few times, but ultimately just those hammer locks from the bigger man were too much, and Max Baca able to pick up the win. Then 285. Tyler Powell for the Blue Jays comes out against Stone Perkins and does what Tyler Powell does. He makes something exciting. Was getting taken down, kind of rolls through, picks up his Peterson roll. Coach is arguing that maybe there shouldn't have been any points. Maybe we should have had near fall, but ultimately the pace slowed down, and Stone Perkins is able to get on top and get the pin for the Mustang Broncos, and that put them up 50-27 for the win in what was a fun duel. A lot of fun matchups as we get into wrestling season heavy now. Every team now has been wrestling and competing, and these duels get really fun. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and want to thank our crew as well. Chris Evans at home, thank you so much for all that you do to make this broadcast possible. I want to thank Kellen Harden for running the score clock tonight. He stepped in first time tonight and did a great job. And then, as always, the most beautiful woman in the camera business, Lindsay Silvis, did a great job bringing you guys the action. I'm Sean Silvis here live on the GMP Network. Just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back to action after Christmas as we're going to take a much-needed 3-week break, I guess a 2-week break, and then we'll be back to action. Just keep your eyes peeled for that. We'll put it out on the Facebook page. We'll put it out on the Guthrie News page. We'll put it out on YouTube as well when we'll be back to action, and we will see you guys then. Just want to thank Mustang Broncos one more time for being such good hosts, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And with that, I'll quit talking. My camera lady's ready to go home, and we will go from there. Thank you guys for tuning in, and go Guthrie.